Jamal Evans is the deep man.
You know, Dave, these Wolfpack fans are used to these guys playing well at night. And they got to figure out a way to package that for day games as well.
Underway. Evans, 2 yards deep in the end zone, will try it. Looks for a seam, won't find one. Out to about the 17-yard line. 17-yard return, Jamal Evans. And Georgia Tech will get things going. Led by their senior quarterback, Reggie Ball.
If he sets his feet, Dave, and gets the ball, throwing it down the field, he has a chance. And James Johnson was just as effective as Calvin. The key with him is making sure his feet are set, squaring up the defense, and then he's able to run the ball this year better than he has in the past.
13 touchdown passes to lead the ACC. Cox is the man in motion behind him. First play from scrimmage. It's play action. Ball will throw and air it out. Looking for Calvin Johnson, who goes up, brings it down. That's broken up last second, incomplete. He nearly brought that down. A.J. Davis, the senior cornerback, got a piece of it. Any jump ball is so difficult head-to-head with Calvin Johnson.
Well, he can jump out of the stadium, so to speak, and if Reggie Ball has time, like he does here, he has a little pressure in his face, Calvin can usually go up and get it. However, you can see A.J. Davis with an outstanding play as he's coming down. That's usually where you have to make the play, as he's coming down, not going up.
So Chan Gailey rolls the dice early with a long pass try, and Johnson nearly pulled it down. Choice swung down after a gain of about 8 yards or so. He's out to the 25-yard line. You'll certainly see a lot of Tashard Choice, a feature back, just carried their third ACC in rushing this year. Has 100-yard games in 3 of his last 4 outings. Johnson, the player Chan Gailey calls the best he's ever seen. Here's the offensive line. Andrew Gardner, a teammate of Calvin Johnson in high school back in Georgia. Kevin Tumanello is the leader. Anchors a line that's only allowed 13 sacks so far in their first 8 games. And early, Tumanello, the O-line, and Georgia Tech tested on their first third down try. The ball game here tonight. And Reggie Ball wants a timeout.
Didn't like something there, Dave. He really saw this Wolfpack defense giving him a look that he wasn't accustomed to, and you see a lot of that. We talk about exotic defenses. They're not used to seeing one thing on film, and then they come in the game, they see something totally different.
One more win for Chuck Amato. It'll be the third in NC State history to win 50 games. He is 2-4 lifetime against Georgia Tech. They did win last year with the Wolfpack in Atlanta against Chan Gailey's team at Bobby Dodd Stadium. Coach Gailey said championship teams win big games, like last week, a 7-point victory over Miami. It was a tough one, and they came away with a victory. 30-23. NC State shows pressure off the timeout ball. Shotgun has time, fires far side, incomplete. Looks there for Grant.
Tank Tyler coming in his face, adding pressure. And that was the one thing we talked about, Dave. You see the ball sail high? It's because he couldn't set his feet. Tank Tyler's coming up. I mean, he's a big cat now. You don't want to just stand there and wait in his face, but you have to sometimes do that, and that's why that ball took off on Reggie Ball.
No easy matter with Tank Tyler bearing down on you. 6'2", 305-pound senior from Fayetteville, North Carolina. Well, Blackman, the deep man to receive here at his 30-yard line. Durant Brooks will punt. Little contact. Referee says no flag there, and Blackman the fair catch. 37-yard punt. And from about the 39-yard line of NC State, that is where the Wolfpack will take over. And Daniel Evans, this is game 6 of the Evans era here in Raleigh. The sophomore from right here in Raleigh, North Carolina, got off to a great start, replacing an ineffective Marcus Stone after a week 3 loss. They got blown out by Southern Miss. He led the Wolfpack to the big win. There it is against BC on a pass to John Dunlap at the gun. And the next week over Florida State, 2 ranked teams back-to-back, but since then, 3 straight losses. Well,
and the problem is they have just not found the consistency in their running game, and that's where they have to really be good and effective for Daniel Evans.
His dad, Johnny, is the analyst on the radio network for NC State, was a great quarterback here himself. Pass on the far side, brought in. Out of bounds on a nice gainer. 14-yard pickup there for NC State on first down. Well, the B&B attack we told you about, Andre Brown, Tony Baker, one has power, one has got speed. Each team a big game tonight. Darrell Blackman, the team starting tailback last year. has now moved to wide out. He's played very well there. Up front, Leroy Harris, the team's top NFL prospect. The question is where he'll play. He started at center, guard, and tackle. Tonight he gets the nod at left guard. The line as a whole has to avoid bad penalties. Charles, that's hurt them all year long.
It really has, David. That first pass was caught by Marcus Stone.
I thought that was Marcus Stone.
He was lined up as a receiver, one of their best athletes.
The backup quarterback made the catch. And it was good for a first down. Here's a little flea flicker. Here's Evans throwing. His ball almost brought in. Lamar Barrett made a great effort for it at the 25-yard line. Incomplete.
You know, usually when you have two guys in the same area, somebody has come over way too far. Barrett and Dunlap were in the same position. The flea flicker here, great setup by Tony Baker. We've seen this in study, and this is a good play against a team that likes to come after you. Now, Barrett had a chance, but he's over in the same area as Dunlap. If he lets it go, it looks like Dunlap has a clean shot. When you're running with the ball and trying to hold on to it, it's a much harder catch as opposed to turn back to the quarterback.
Barrett, the only key senior receiver in the core here, Charles, for Evans at NC State. He's missed time this year with a hamstring injury. The senior from Miami Springs, Florida, does not have a touchdown in his career. He's got 50 catches and no scores. Almost had one there on a crazy play. That pass incomplete. Baker, the intended receiver, at about the 43-yard line. Georgia Tech defense up front, strong and fast. Joe Anawati, an amazing story. His dad, brother, uncle, cousin, wrestlers in the WWE. He's the leader of the defense. Darrell Richard, an all-academic performer as well. Linebackers, the strength of the D. Philip Wheeler leads his team 8 sacks. K. Michael Hall, team leader in tackles, a two-time ACC Defensive Player of the Week. And the secondary, Kenny Scott of Daytona Beach is the leader. 2 career interceptions brought back for a score. He is a 3-year starter. 3rd and 10. From about midfield. Evans throws near side. A breakout there from Barrett, a little bit late. Pass off the mark. Ward Daniels on coverage for Georgia Tech, and NC State has got a punt.
Yeah, it looks like Barrett was a little, either he was too late or Evans, was a little bit too early with that route. You see Mark Trestman going over, talking to him, the offensive coordinator. But you have to have, in these timing routes, you can see Mark Trestman right there talking to him. The timing routes are so key for you to find that receiver, and the receiver has to run the right depth for the quarterback.
Tyler Evans, the deep man, to receive the Duraney punt. Fair catch at the 10. That's where Georgia Tech takes over. 38-yard punt by Duraney. When we return, Georgia Tech and Reggie Ball and Calvin Johnson back on the field. All right, Mike Hall, exciting game there. How about that one in Knoxville?
Wow.
The series had been dominated by Tennessee. LSU just won 5 of 28 all-time meetings. And the Vols have just lost to the Tigers one time in Knoxville before that game. And we just saw from Mike Hall in the update. Reggie Ball, some trouble. Tucks under his arm, then elects to throw his pass incomplete. Calvin Johnson, the nearest to the football. And it was well out of bounds. There's the Wolfpack defense. They've got to cause turnovers tonight to win. Up front, Ray Brooks, Martrell Brown going to overcome the loss of NFL top pick Mario Williams. That's not easy. Tank Tyler, second on the team in total tackles as well. Good leader up front for them. Linebackers led by the senior captain, Pat Lowry, the team's leading tackler. As coaches tell us, an old-school warrior type, intelligent player. Reggie Davis has made a successful switch from running back to linebacker. And watch out for Heath, Scott, Sutton, and Davis, especially Garland Heath. At the rubberback spot, has got to help out double-team coverage with Calvin Johnson. Good luck there. Deshard Choice breaks a couple tackles over the right side, stumbles forward, close to the 20-yard line. He needs that for a first down. Give him 9. It'll be 3rd and short.
Well, Dave, when you have a guy like Mike Cox blocking for you, the fullback, and I talked to him before the game, I said, man, are they going to throw you any balls today? Well, him and Michael Matthews, they were warming up. They said, hey, I don't know what we're going to get, but I do know I'm going to be ready to block for Deshard Choice. The Choice does a great job. Cox doesn't get a lot of praise, but this guy, wherever he goes, Choice will follow.
Coaches call him a great player, very good blocker, good leader. He's a junior from Lewisburg, Pennsylvania, is Cox. Ball with it, pushes the pile forward across the 20. Looks like he's got enough for a first down. Good spot from the line judge. And it appears the Georgia Tech drive will continue.
Maybe it's not a good reference. CNC Music Factory. I don't think they. No. These two guys play well. Reggie Ball, this is what he's done well this year, running the football. When he's healthy, he's had some injuries with ankles and different things, but he's a tough guy.
He had the running game of a career for a Georgia Tech quarterback against Troy earlier this year. 16 carries, 130 yards, the best ever for a Tech quarterback rushing in a game. Play action, Reggie keeps. bootleg now keeps Sandel thinking about running it. Sandwich to the 25-yard line, out to the 26 where he's hit hard. Nailed there by DeJuan Morgan. Give him 5 yards.
Well, you know who's the best hitter on this team? You just saw it, DeJuan Morgan. We talked to Steve Dunlap yesterday, and you can see Reggie Ball limping again. That's what happens when you get out there and get exposed as a quarterback. Now, he makes a good decision here to get outside of LaRue Rump. And then when he's going down the field, look, high-low. You hate to see that happen, but, hey, DeJuan Morgan came over and smacked him along with Pat Lowry.
Nice help from Lowry there, too. Morgan from Riviera Beach, Florida, NFL prospect. The defensive coordinator Steve Dunlap told us yesterday. Delay handoff, it's Choice. Pushes forward, needed the 31 for a first down, didn't get it. He's to the 30, give him 4 yards on the play.
You know, Dave, you say sometimes why do people leave schools? Well, Choice was backing up, you know, Adrian Peterson at Oklahoma. He wasn't going to get much time. And you can see why he was one of those guys that could come over here and play well. Curtis Modkins, the position coach at running back from Texas, one of those great high school Texas running backs himself at TCU, found this guy. He called him. I mean, they started communicating when Choice wanted to leave, and he said he wanted to come here. And he had to wait behind P.J. Daniels last year.
3rd down numbers for Georgia Tech. 5th of 12 teams in the conference. Handoff. Choice had to get to the 31. Pickup of about a yard. Garland Heath, the player from his rubber back spot we told you about, is such a key. Makes the stop there for NC State. It's awfully close.
And he's got it. Yeah, great first down. And to back that story up, Choice is from Riverdale, Georgia, so he goes home every offseason. He gets in touch with the Georgia Tech coaching staff and says, hey, I want to come home. They found a place for him. So those are the kind of things that fall in your lap sometimes, but it's also good recruiting because they started out with him in the beginning. He didn't choose him, and then he came back around. Really
an amazing story, too, Charles, with Tashard Choice. Didn't have to sit out a year after the transfer from Oklahoma. We'll tell you about that after this play. 1st and 10 here for Ball and the Jackets. Shotgun throwing. Johnson has it. It's James Johnson. Hit hard. Boy, he's lit up at the 40 after a pickup of 8 yards. Nailed there on the play by Garland Heath.
North Carolina State defensive backs will come up and hit you. And this is a great play by Reggie Ball of staying there and staying in the pocket. Wham! You got to be ready when you're playing in this against this secondary. Woo! Boy, he will come over and hit you. Look, and people on that sideline aren't going to help him. They're going to just let him fall back.
He's from Belle Glade, Florida. Glade Central High School, that tremendous program that has produced countless NFL stars. Near West Palm, Florida, in the Everglades. Pass to Choice. Little screen dump off. Makes a nice play out to about the 46-yard line. Give him 7 yards. And he's got another Yellow Jacket first down. Methodical drive, effective drive here for Georgia Tech.
It really is, Dave. And you hear so many people talk about make all the throws. That's one of those throws that are so overlooked. The one out to the running back where he can catch it, and then he has 5 yards in front of him as opposed to reaching back. Those are the things that he's doing better this year, and that's Reggie Ball.
Ball on the Tech offense, looking for the icebreaker here tonight in Raleigh. Changes the play at the line. A lot of shotgun with Reggie Ball. He's always a threat to run. And here he goes. A lot of room. Look at the real estate for Reggie Ball. 35-30 on his feet, out of bounds. Escorted there at the 25-yard line. Give him 28 yards. Another Tech first down. He is so dangerous. Fleet of foot. Garland Heath eventually tracked him down.
Calvin Johnson made that play. There were 3 guys following him. They had Brackett on the inside. They had a safety over the top. So what happens when you see that, it's going to open up the middle of the field. You won't see it on this screen. You won't see it here, but look, good blocking up front. They're allowing him to get outside and run. But on the right of Reggie Ball, there was Calvin Johnson who commanded 3 people downfield. So they have to come from a far distance. He sees that, and he's able to make the run. Garland Heath was one of those guys that was in the secondary that had to come all the way back and try to make that play.
10th play, Charles, here of the Georgia Tech drive. Ball, time. Fade route. Johnson brings it in. Touchdown, Calvin Johnson. 25 yards. What a play in traffic. Tech has the first score of the night.
Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. And if you can jump where the 45-inch vertical is really not true because he's probably got a 50-inch, You got to try to get that ball as he's coming out. And this time they only had one guy low, one guy high. But look, he just reaches up and takes it away.
Travis Bell adds the point after. And Calvin Johnson has another touchdown catch for Georgia Tech, his 10th of the year. Showing why he's a semifinalist for the Maxwell Player of the Year, Bolitnikoff Wide Receiver of the Year. This guy's brilliant, folks. What a play, Calvin Johnson. ESPNU College Football Primetime is presented by Citi. Earn rewards points in more ways than ever with Citi. 10th touchdown catch of the season for the great Calvin Johnson, who's tied the Georgia Tech single-season record held by Kelly Campbell. And Chan Gailey, who coached a guy named Michael Irvin with the Dallas Cowboys in the late 90s, where he twice made the playoffs. Offensive coordinator with the Miami Dolphins as well, and says plain and simple, Calvin Johnson, incomparable. No one does what he does.
He doesn't question it at all.
Mohamed Yayawi, the kick. It's short, taken out to the 33-yard line, 10-yard return for NC State there.
The biggest deal you have is when Reggie Ball looking now, setting his feet, throwing the ball up the field, and Calvin Johnson with double coverage still able to go up and take the ball away from DeJuan Morgan. And that's just, you know, Jeremy Gray and DeJuan Morgan, they had great coverage. You couldn't ask for any more. But the play before was really the key, because Reggie Ball, it may have been a design draw, but this year he's waiting so long that the defense has to respect it as a pass, and then he can take off.
Off the short return by fullback John Kane for NC State. Pretty good field position here for the Wolfpack. 33-yard line on 1st and 10. Handoff, it's Andre Brown. Tries the left side, nothing doing there for Andre. Let's join Mike Call in the studio for a SportsCenter U in-game update.
Gain of a yard, now 2nd down and 9.
Well, Mike, that is a big one. Wake Forest right now, 7-1, 3-1 in the ACC Atlantic Division. Tied with BC atop that division. What a tilt that is. How about Maryland today in that division, speaking of big games, over Clemson at the gun. Anthony Hill, leading receiver for NC State, dragging tacklers out to the 48-yard line. First down for the Wolfpack. 13 yards for Anthony Hill.
Dave, you know I get excited to see tight ends catch the rock and try to run over people. And it helps. He's from H-Town, Houston, baby, Clearbrook. This is how you catch the ball, turn it up the field, and then let the little fly swatters come on you. Let the flies come and you just run over. That's a great play, and it's a good throw to get the quarterback in the rhythm, but also, look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It takes about 6 guys to bring down one.
K. Michael Hall and Jaheward Daniels eventually made the stop. Pass on the far side. Barrett brings in, breaks a tackle. Lamar Barrett still has it. Swung out of bounds on the far side. Another nice pickup for NC State. First down yards, give them 13 more.
What did Mark Trestman say? Yards after catch, rack. We got to have that. We may have some short throws in this timing route, but well, look, break a tackle. That's 1 tackle. That's 2 tackles. Come on, you need to bring 4, 5, 6 guys over to tackle 1. It's a disadvantage, you think, for the offensive guy, but if he's going forward and knifing through the defense, that's what happens.
Chuck Amato and his staff told us this week in our meetings with them that Lamar Barrett might shock some people this week. And sure enough, he's had a couple of nice catches early. And a big play there for his coach. 1st and 10 for the Wolfpack, trying to tie this game up in the first quarter. From the 39, that pass broken up incomplete. Great penetration as Kenny Scott came in. A blitz from his cornerback spot. He's a senior defensive back. And they will, in some form, Charles, all night long bring pressure against Evans and the NC State offense.
5, sometimes 6, and you don't always know where it's going to come, and they do a great job. You know, all those people that came around looking for candy, disguises, so to speak, costumes, these guys do it every single defensive play. They disguise themselves well. That's why Mark Trestman said no 7-step drops. 5 or 3 are what we're going to do tonight.
Veteran offensive coordinator, Mark Trestman, who also has a law degree from the University of Miami. On 2nd down, pass to the near side, flag drops after the play. Barrett, the intended receiver. Jamal Lewis on coverage, and Evans was knocked down in the backfield. We'll see if that's the call. It is not.
Yeah, when you have all those guys coming after you, I thought it was going to be a hit on the quarterback. But Tumanello, I think the center, I think he's mouthing Kevin Tumanello with that holding there.
Holding, 60 of the offense, 10 yards from the line of scrimmage, repeat second down.
Trying to protect his quarterback, and what happens is you have that pressure coming up the middle. And like I said, they disguise it very well, and they don't let you know. And then when they come with it, they do a very good job of getting to you.
Mears Green there is the guilty party, the right tackle from Wilmington, North Carolina, sophomore. One up the middle, not much there for Andre Brown as he gets back toward the 46-yard line. Give him 4. Coming in from Carter Finley Stadium, big game on ESPNU. Primetime college football brought to you by Citi. Dave Ryan, Charles Arbuckle, our entire crew. Sold-out house in Raleigh. A beautiful night for college football. Georgia Tech 20th ranked, and on top of their division in the ACC, and the visiting Whites here against NC State. Trying to snap a 3-game losing streak with Daniel Evans, the sophomore quarterback, and the Wolfpack. They need a win now. It's like playoff football, their coaches say. Trouble with a snap there. Evans runs for his life, tosses out of bounds, and it's incomplete. Andre Brown, the nearest in the vicinity. Evans got hit pretty hard. Fans wanted a call. Well, it does not appear they'll get one.
It looked like it was going to be moving too soon or illegal procedure on the offense, but they were going, and they stopped. And I think the North Carolina State guys decided to stop, but Georgia Tech kept coming.
K. Michael Hall, all kinds of pressure. He's one of the top linebacker prospects in the ACC.
John Tenuta says he's just so smart, so intelligent with his football knowledge, and he's able to get them in all the right positions.
John Delaney, who handles PAT field goals, kickoffs, and punts. He's set to release at about the 45-yard line. Evans, the deep man to receive here. NC State continuing to struggle in the first quarter. They have scored, Charles, 12 points the entire season in first quarter action for Chuck Amato. We asked him about that yesterday. He said, well, I know it's frustrating. It's difficult. Sometimes we'll get the offensive line to hit extra hard during pregame warm-ups so they get the feel and flow for the game, but it just hasn't been working.
And that last play was kind of an example of it, where they get started and it just stops. You know, they're not able to get going the way they need to.
Tom McCreesh there, Charles, got nailed. We saw his hat was loose. Little yard sale for the referee on the pressure from K. Michael Hall. Let's take another look, and his hand may have gotten cut there. He's being attended to. It's not easy being an on-field official sometimes.
Well,
watch it.
And he was coming in, Dave. It looked like to kind of stop the play, but then he was trying to back up when he saw everything coming. There were no flags on the field. But I think he was really coming in. It almost looked like he was going to halt the play a little bit, and then he tried to back out at the last minute.
Referees generally don't get nailed in the flow, though, but the umpire, that's a tough spot to be in, because you're a few yards off the line of scrimmage and you're right in the fray. You can get hit. We've seen some pretty nasty spills by officials throughout our years of covering college football. The Rainey finally ready. Evans prepared to return. Again, the fair catch. Beautiful punt inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. 42-yard kick. Gotta wonder why Evans just didn't let that go for a touchback.
Big mistake there by him.
Top field position for Reggie Ball on the offense when we come back. Really a big game for Georgia Tech. If they win 2 of their next 3, they clinch a spot in Jacksonville, the ACC title game next month. And the winner of that game goes to the Orange Bowl. So this is a big one.
Well, you have to have those big plays, and you can see Reggie Ball there. It almost looks like a design, but you don't quite know because he waits so long and anticipates, and then the same thing, comes back, sets his feet, throws it up, jump ball. The NBA would love that, but they have him in college football, and it's Calvin Johnson.
Is he something? 1 touchdown away from tying Kelly Campbell's all-time record set in the late 90s. Already has tied the single season mark. He's split in the slot to the left of Ball. Hands off, Joyce going absolutely nowhere. Rashard Choice wrestled down by Miguel Scott. Big hit. Let's join Mike Hall in the studio for a SportsCenter U in-game update. Mike, what a shocker that was. Oregon State with a win last week over Pete Carroll and the Trojans. And the John David Booty two-point conversion late was knocked down. What a thriller that was, huh? Corvallis, 2nd and 12 ball in the end zone, fires on the near side. Incomplete through the hands of James Johnson at the 10-yard line.
Tashard Choice just saved a safety. He was able to pick up the blitzing defender coming in at the last second. Great pickup by Tashard Choice on a defensive lineman, mind you, Martell Brown. He does an excellent job of getting there right at the last second. Got to have better conversion, and they haven't started well at all. They've been deep in their territory every single drive tonight.
Have they ever? Third down conversion numbers. 3rd and 12 here for ball. Shotgun from the end zone. Rolls left, fires on the move, incomplete. Grant the nearest to it. Looking there for Rashawn Grant, the junior tailback, and it's a punting situation from deep in the end zone here for the Yellow Jackets.
Well, and Dave, the one thing that he's done well is twice he's gotten rid of the football when he had no one to throw it to. In the past, he would have thrown an interception. So that's why that 50% completion thing is sometimes deceiving. But he rolls that way every time, to his left, which is different and awkward for most right-handed quarterbacks.
Durant Brooks punts from the end zone, little pressure. Darrell Blackman should have a nice return set up here, but he dropped it. Recovers on a bounce, gets himself to the 45-yard line, and that's where NC State takes over. Short field here for the Wolfpack, 44-yard punt. Nice job by Brooks to get it away with a lot of pressure deep in the end zone. Later tonight, a full day of college football on ESPNU concludes 10 Eastern as the Howard Bison takes on the South Carolina State Bulldogs, a MEAC clash. ESPNU college football. Prime time presented by City tonight at 10 Eastern. For more, log on ESPNU.com. We look forward to that game.
South Carolina State, the home of Shannon Sharp.
What a career he had, huh? Yeah. Speaking of great tight ends. From the 45, good field position here for Evans, the sophomore quarterback, who's taken over for Stone, but the pass there behind Blackman, it's incomplete. Ward Daniels on coverage. At the 35-yard line, 2nd and 10 for NC State.
Just the offensive rhythm just never seems to get there with Evans in this first quarter. And you just can't quite figure it out. But they got to find a reason and a way to get going, because Georgia Tech is letting them stay in the ball game. They're giving them a chance. They have to figure that out.
Evans, the young quarterback from right here in Raleigh. 3 of 9 so far as flags fly, 41 yards for NC State. And we asked Mark Trestman, offensive coordinator, Chuck Amato, the head coach, about Evans' status. We'll get the call here.
Prior to the snap, full start, number 78, number 83 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, it remains 2nd down.
James Newby, left tackle, senior from Athens, Alabama, is the guilty party. Bottom of your screen, we'll see the movement.
Well, those are the things that this offensive line has done on a consistent basis. And I think that's where there have been some changes and trying to move guys around. Newby, usually a pretty solid guy in that category, but all of them have had their problems this year.
James married with a child, along with Leroy Harris, each married with young children. Delay handoff. Nothing there for Baker as he crosses the 50-yard line to about the 49 of Georgia Tech. And the offense sputtering again here for NC State. And talking about Evans and continuing the story about him, he's a player who had his first career start after Marcus Stone struggled so mightily in a big loss to Southern Miss. Evans comes in, the miraculous win we saw against BC, then Florida State. So he's 2-0 as a starter, but now he's struggled a bit. 3 straight losses. Can he bounce back is the question.
Well, I think he can, but I think the other thing is once teams really figure you out and understand how you play, it makes it a little bit more tougher, and he has to make those adjustments.
3rd and 14 for the sophomore with the middle pass to Hill, complete. Anthony Hill, big tight end, rumbling inside the 25-yard line, down to the 22. First down, NC State, 26 yards to the team's leading receiver, Anthony Hill, with a big catch. And the Wolfpack in business.
Well, we talk about finding players to make plays, and this is a good throw. And he puts it right there where Anthony Hill has been outstanding this year, averaging 10.4 yards a catch. This is a huge play for them because it gets them down the field, and it gives them a chance to get in that scoring zone.
Led the team in a loss at Virginia last week. 6 catches, 41 yards. Screen pass, Blackman bobbles. Burrell then regains and pushes the ball forward inside the 20-yard line down to the 16. Let's join Mike Hall in the studio. Sports Center U in-game update. Michael, that's a big game in the ACC, no doubt about it. Already North Carolina lost to Notre Dame. Duke lost another, this one to Navy. They're now 0-9 in ACC play. A big game going on there at Boston College tonight. And this, another huge tilt in the ACC. Evans fires far side, nowhere near his man. And that is incomplete, looking for Donald Bowens.
Dave, the other thing that they're doing is to keep Georgia Tech off balance, is running the no huddle or just not huddling up. It's not a speed offense, but it is giving them a chance to keep Georgia Tech from substituting like they want to, and also really coming with the blitzes and the zone dogs that they like to bring. When you say zone dogs, you mean the linebackers kind of go in there and they may come and blitz, but the defensive linemen, sometimes the tackles or the end, usually the ends will drop out in the coverage. So that's what they're trying to stop them from doing.
Really been a struggle for Mark Trestman, the offensive coordinator at NC State. 24 points, a season high all year. That's all they've scored. Big pass over the middle. Hill is there open on the post route, but it falls incomplete. Coverage from Jamal Lewis.
I was wondering when they were going to go back to that because it's been open. And Phillip Wheeler, even though he's good in coverage, Hill is so good at getting down the field, and that play action pass sucks everybody in. Hill hadn't, I'm sorry, it was Jamal Lewis in coverage like you said. But the key there is that the ball was too high. Golly, and that's the one thing. He hadn't scored a touchdown all season.
Delaney will try one from 33 yards here to try to get NC State on the board. He's got it. The kicker, who's 11th all-time at NC State scoring, tied for 3rd all-time at field goals made. That's his 34th. Has 3 for the Wolfpack, and points they badly needed because finally, in the first quarter, they've got something on the board. That's just a 15th point they've scored now in their 9th game in the first quarter combined. So that's some momentum maybe they need here in Raleigh. Tomorrow night, ESPNU brings you the Legacy Classic. The Morehouse Maroon Tigers take on the Miles Golden Eagles. College football primetime on ESPNU. Tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern. For more, log on to ESPNU.com. So John Delaney hits the big field goal for NC State. Delaney, inspired by his father Rick, who was a former kicker himself at Troy in the 1970s. His dad was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 2000, and for the first time unable to travel to see his games from back home in Fayetteville, Georgia. So John, on his wristbands, his eye black, has dad written in a tribute to his father.
Well, when you see him on the field when we were down there earlier, you can see him with the dad. He had a big smile on his face.
Delaney kicks. Evans, 5 yards deep. Wisely takes a knee. Reggie Ball, Georgia Tech, will go back at it from the 20 off the touchback. Numbers so far on Reggie Ball. Break him down, Charles.
Well, a little bit inconsistent. 2 of those incompletions, though, he got rid of the football, so that brings your average down. And then what you have to have is a guy like Calvin Johnson making plays for you. He gets one big play from Calvin Johnson. Some of his throws have been off, and when he misses, it's because he doesn't set his feet and step into the throw.
Accuracy and decision-making. That's what Chan Gailey told us when we spoke to him this week about Reggie Ball. If it's there, he'll have a great game.
Yes.
If not, doesn't set his feet, makes risky throws, look out. A lot of interceptions are a possibility with a senior captain. Play action ball rolling right. Fires, ball tipped, incomplete. And nearly intercepted there by Young.
Willie Young is just a tremendous athlete, 6'5", 230, redshirt freshman, long. You're going to see him coming after Reggie Ball. It just stays in front. That's what good athletes do. You know, you got a point guard in front of you. If you're the big guy trying to make sure you stay, look at that long reach to get up there and knock the ball. Then almost he tries to turn around and get the interception.
Just a freshman from West Palm Beach, Florida, and Palm Beach High School, Willie Young at 6'5", 230. And a big-time play there.
Looks like he can put on probably another 30 pounds and still be effective.
Yet another great defensive end This is a defense that lost 5 players to the NFL last year, including Mario Williams. Speaking of the NFL, here's Calvin Johnson at catch on the hitch route. He's outside the 35-yard line to about the 37, 17-yard pickup, first down for the Jackets.
I counted 5 guys when he caught that ball, Dave. They're all in the vicinity. And this is a nice, see how he sets his feet? Still sliding a little bit to the side, but still able to throw the football. Look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys. And good protection. Whenever you give Reggie Ball a chance to see the route, because he's only 5'11", and if you get the hands down in front of him, he can get to the big 6'5" Calvin Johnson.
Miguel Scott, the junior free safety, eventually made the play on Johnson, but not before another big pickup and a first down for the Yellow Jackets. The Shard choice. Delay handoff, scampers across the 40, the 43-yard line. Nice pickup on first down of about 5. And it'll be second down here for the Yellow Jackets. So finish up a story on Shard choice that we told you about. Transfer from Oklahoma. How about that? In the 1 year he's out in Norman, Adrian Peterson finishes second in the Heisman ballot with 1,925 yards as a freshman. Now back home near Atlanta, his mom Rosa was having some injury trouble. She hurt her leg, couldn't travel. They applied to the NCAA for a transfer without having to sit out a year, and Tashard was granted the transfer. He carries again on the right side of the pitch, nothing doing. He'll lose yardage there. Sets up 3rd and long, and a late flag is dropped as well. Willie Young, another nice play offensively for the Wolfpack.
It looks like it's going to go against the Wolfpack. You know, the other thing with this Georgia Tech offense is that they don't, when they run outside against North Carolina State, you better be quick because they're so fast and they get to the ball.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 97 under defense. 15 yards from the ball spot.
Oh, Chuck Amato, what did he tell us yesterday, Charles? Bad penalties have killed us all year. And Willie Young, we just sang his praises, the young freshman defensive end from Florida, who made 2 nice plays in a row. However, after the play, it'll cost him 15 yards.
This has been the thing for the last few years with Chuck Amato and his group, and they're taking Willie Young out of the game right now. Those are the kind of things that you can't have. And you can see his coach is getting on. He's hitting his hand off. You better listen to him, young man. That's true. You cannot make that kind of mistake, especially when you get him in 3rd and long. And then whatever it is, you got to let it go.
Personal foul call. First down, Georgia Tech. Play action, ball's got it. Reggie fires. Fade route. Look who's open. Johnson brings it in. Touchdown, Calvin Johnson and Georgia Tech. 43 yards. Where was the coverage? Second touchdown of the game for the future NFL star.
A.J. Davis fell asleep on that play. He let Calvin Johnson go outside on like a stop route or stem. And then when Calvin Johnson turned back up, he delayed. But every time you see a big play or a big mistake like that, then you come back and you attack. And that's one right there on that bootleg pass. Number 3 is down there. He falls asleep, A.J. Davis, and that allows them to get the ball down the field to Calvin Johnson.
Unbelievable that he was that open. Travis Bell knocks through the PAT.
You know, this play action passer, Reggie Ball again, rolling to his left, setting his feet, throwing. A.J. Davis went for the fake, thought he had help up top, but you can't think like that. You better stay on him all the way. If not, he will kill you.
With that catch ties the great Kelly Campbell. All-time career touchdown grabs. He now has the single season record with 11. And what did Changeli tell us this week when he spoke of 4.3 40 speed, as you see the accolades here about his mid-season honors. 45-inch vert leap, but Charles, apparently the measuring device only goes up to 45 inches. His teammates say it's more like 47 inches. The guy's a freak, but a good student, good person too, and a good teammate. He's not thinking only about the NFL.
No, he's not, and I think that's the key. You try to find something bad that people say about him. Other coaches say how good he is. His own teammates, his own coaches say that. And if you give him a chance with one-on-one coverage, which that basically was, you don't see a lot of that against him. And when they found it, they exposed it. And I think that's the key with Calvin Johnson. There were about 5 scouts before the game on the field just mauling around. And they're looking at not only Calvin Johnson, a lot of talent here, especially at North Carolina State, but even they rave about how good this kid is.
Now, his mom, Erica, has a PhD. She works for his school district back home in Tyrone, Georgia. Dad works for Southern Pacific Railroad. He's got as we see the record there with Kelly Campbell, a sister, Erica, who's in med school, so the family takes academics very seriously. Calvin has said, I'm going to get my degree. I went to Georgia Tech for that. But when?
You better get out of school and then come back and finish that 1 year. That would be my advice.
Andre Brown brings it in, staggers back to the 5, but bounces off one tackle, then it stood up, hit hard at the 22-yard line, give him 18 yards on the return there. Special teams for NC State.
In all seriousness, though, however they play, how well they play, if they finish out and win however many games to get to the championship for the ACC, that will probably dictate what he'll do. If you're looking at North Carolina State, you got to figure out a way to get 7, not 3. And those penalties have to stop. And it starts in the last few years. It's been the same MO with this Wolfpack team. Great talent, but sometimes they hurt themselves over and over. And Chuck Amato said that if we don't beat ourselves, we win.
He said our biggest enemy has been NC State. Game in and game out. Here comes the young quarterback, Evans. Under a minute left in our first quarter. It's been the Calvin Johnson show. 2 touchdown catches. And Evans wants a timeout. With 48 ticks remaining in the first quarter. Each team has used 1 play stoppage so far. Evans, the son of Johnny, we told you about, the radio analyst here at NC State, who had a great career here in Raleigh himself. Also played in the NFL with the Cleveland Browns and 3 years in the CFL. So, as we talked about it, Charles, really has been an up and down year for NC State. Very high expectations coming into the season. However, really struggled September 9th in a big upset loss to Akron of the MAC on this very field. And was Chuck Amato in the heat that day, ever hot, for good reason. But it all changed. Quarterback change. Evans comes in, goes to John Dunlap at the gun. They upset ranked BC. Evans on the map here at NC State. Chuck Amato said one of the biggest moments in NC State football history.
And then when they come against Florida State, you get a chance to get them here at home, and they take advantage of that. That is why you look at this team, and that's his mentor, Chuck Amato, and then you come back and you look at it on the other side, losing right here. But the problem with them is that they have not found a way to be consistent in their play and their attitude and what they do.
25-23 loss to Jim Grow and Wake Forest, and then a loss at Maryland by 6. Terps won a big game today against Clemson. And last week they lost at Virginia 14-7. He up the middle. Andre Brown not much doing there as he gets across the 25-yard line at the 26. Give him 4 yards. And NC State off that timeout.
There's been some question as to whether you want to alternate these guys, Andre Brown or Tony Baker. They do a good job. They get them in and out. They both play quite a bit. But they have to have the 2 of them really step up tonight. And if they let Georgia Tech score anymore, it takes them out of the ball game.
Huge difference. You can see it here through our first quarter. NC State does not have the big weapons Georgia Tech has. They can't stretch the field. And Anthony Hill, their tight end, is a good, solid receiver, but he's not a Calvin Johnson type. Throwing here is Evans, a little screen pass. Hill brings it in. Speaking of the big tight end, and he's cut down after just a couple yards there. And that will be the last play of the first quarter. Calvin Johnson, not 1, but 2 touchdown catches for Georgia Tech. And the Ramblin' Wreck in great shape. 20th ranked team in the nation using number 21. Chuck Amato, 25-28 ACC record, 7-11 his record against ranked teams. He has been to 5 bowls in his tenure here. This is 7th year with a 4-1 bowl record. And the Meineke Car Care Classic last year beat South Florida in Charlotte in a bowl game. It's going to be a tough road to hoe this year, though. 3rd down, Evans throwing. First play, second quarter, brought in on a nice play by Jaron James, who's got a big pickup, 17 yards, first down for the Pack.
Well, Jaron James is one of those guys that they want to get the ball to more. Only 4 catches on the year, but has shown some great flashes at 6'4", 195. The freshman out of Wilmington, North Carolina, can show you right there. He'll go up and get the ball also.
Led the team against Florida State in that big upset win. 4 catches, 91 yards, and a highlight-type touchdown. Shoulder surgery missed last year. Pump fake. Evans has a man wide open. And ball brought in. Darrell Blackman down to the 23-yard line. 32-yard pickup for the former tailback turn wide receiver, and NC State is in business.
Nice play here by pump faking, and that allows him to get down the field. And when that happens, you don't have a chance as a cornerback. You know you're beat. Kenny Scott been on that pump fake. Thought he was guessing the route, jumped it, and Blackman gets down the field for a nice pickup. 2 good pass plays in a row by Dan Evans.
Blackman, the sophomore from Williamsport, Pennsylvania, home of the Little League World Series. Here's Barrett. Makes a nice move in traffic. Lamar Barrett inside the 10-yard line. Down to the 8, 15-yard pickup, another first down, and suddenly the wheels are moving here for NC State.
And DJ Jones, who didn't start, is in there now making that tackle. But right here, you see 3 plays in a row. Look, yards after catch. Good blocking downfield. You see Anthony Hill, Blackman out in front. But the real key is, it seems like they go to the second quarter, and this is a totally different ball club. They just play with so much more energy as the game goes on, and you got to figure, here's a chance for you to score. You're in the red zone. What do you do with the ball?
Great move there as he went right by Jamal Lewis. Mark Barrett, coaches say, runs routes very well. He's overcome some injuries to do well here tonight. Man open there. Incomplete, looking for Anthony Hill, who is all by his lonesome in the end zone. Evans couldn't find a connection. It's incomplete.
Is he just allergic to the end zone this year? Because inside the hash marks are inside the field of play, he makes those catches, and then he gets in the end zone. That's 6 points for him. That's 6 points. That's a designed corner route. No one on him. He had that post that was too high. He should have had that catch.
Avery Roberson, the nearest Yellow Jacket to him, and he was about 15 yards away when the ball was released by Evans. I'm wondering why Daniel threw up his back foot there. Rushed the throw when Hill broke out on the route perfectly and was all by himself. Second and goal. Swing pass, Brown drops it, incomplete at the 10.
And when you watch this team, this is what happens. One play where the quarterback throws off his back foot, then Anthony Hill can't quite get there, probably should. And the next play, there's a drop. It's that mental toughness to say, okay, let's forget about that and let's move forward. And that's just a play you have to have.
You can see it in the body language of Brown there.
Yes.
He's dejected already, and they're still in this game. It's just starting the second quarter. Sure, he made a drop, but
let it go.
You got to move on. Short memory in college football, and Chuck Amato knows that, so he's telling Andre Brown, who's had some fumble problems before, and Coach Amato's worked with him this year. He's told us bring his confidence back. Third down now. Evans shotgun throws over the middle. No one there. It's incomplete. Little miscommunication with his receivers. DJ Jones, who was questionable for the game, closest on coverage for Georgia Tech. He's been suffering a shoulder problem in the vicinity there for the Yellow Jackets.
Reading the same book, but different chapters on that one. The playbook says one thing, and the quarterback thinks, oh, okay, well, we're here. Oh, no, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets almost have an interception free and clear.
Here comes Delaney, another try. 25-yarder for John Delaney, who's 1 for 1 so far. Make it 2 for 2. The capacity crowd of some 57,000 doesn't really appreciate it too much, but Delaney does have a couple field goals, and NC State scores again, still down by 8, second quarter. All right, Michael, big game there at Wake Forest tonight. ESPN 2 prime time game as Jim Grove's Demon Deacons try to take it to Tom O'Brien and BC. I think Tom O'Brien very quietly. Jim Grove too, by the way. Incredible jobs they've done at their respective programs to bring teams that really wouldn't be thought of as national powerhouses right up in the spotlight.
Yeah, and I think you hear so much about Jim Grove because he did it at Ohio and then he's now at Wake Forest. But Tom O'Brien has put together a nice season up there in Boston.
Evans, the deep man, receives at his 6. He'll try the left side. That's where the return is set up. He's outside the 20. Flag flies at the 40-yard line. And nearly every time it is on the return team. That's something I preach about in our broadcast, Charles. Always wonder about that. Offensive line movement with a false start. So when you know the cadence, you know the count for the most part. We'll get the call here. And then penalties on kick returns happen so often. We'll talk about that after we look at this. NC State in desperate need, folks, of a win here. They can't afford any more losses, really. They've got to win 3 or 4 to be bowl eligible. Georgia Tech in the driver's seat now after what has happened so far in the Coastal Division. But as Chan Gailey has said, our goal all year long to win that division, get to the ACC championship game in Jacksonville, and right now we control our own destiny. What more could you ask for Georgia Tech?
Well, if you're Georgia Tech, you just say, we keep winning, we're there. We're home free. Now, Boston College and Wake is going to decide a lot of things over in that side in the Atlantic, so it'll be interesting to see who wins that game in Maryland with a big, big win today against Clemson.
Here come the Calvin Johnsons again. Georgia Tech. He was split out as just a decoy there on the run play. As Choice got a couple yards. Calvin so far, 3 catches, 86 yards, 2 touchdowns for a player that could be the #1 overall NFL pick. So you're down on the field before the game with some scouts. What are they saying about Calvin?
Well, they just say he's an outstanding player. He makes plays. Mom is usually the word on juniors, but you can hear from the coaches what they're saying and what the coaches are telling him. So you know he's getting a lot of praise and a lot of understanding from what's going to happen after this year.
Here's Choice, delay handoff. Stumbles across the 15 to about the 18-yard line. Excuse me, gave him 5 yards there. Pat Lowry, the leading tackler for NC State, on the stop for the Wolfpack. He's a team captain, a very good linebacker for NC State.
The other thing about that, Dave, though, is that when they come and see one guy, they get a chance to see a guy like Tashard Choice or some of the other players, Kevin Tumanello or Mansfield Rado. He's getting a lot of praise from the scouts from being a three-year defensive lineman. Now he's playing on the offensive side, number 68 from Snellville, Georgia. And Tashard Choice with his outstanding speed and ability.
Choice 39th in the nation, 3rd in the ACC in rushing. Fans finally get into it here. Play action ball is throwing on 3rd down. Has a man. Calvin Johnson again brings it in outside the 25-yard line of the 26. 4th catch of the night. The preseason ACC Player of the Year on offense. Another Tech first down.
North Carolina State has to find a way to get a turnover, and I think that's really the key for them. They don't turn the ball over well, -10 this year. And then you can see whenever Calvin Johnson catches the ball, they're going to really try to come up and smash him, hit him hard, take the ball away. And I think that's what the Wolfpack have to do. They have to get a turnover and change the momentum of this ball game.
1st and 10, Reggie Ball. Georgia Tech, another play action. Has it, throws on the move, intercepted, brought in, touchdown, Pat Lowry. The senior captain makes the pick and brings it to the house.
Did I just say that?
Wow.
Well, the key was they got in front of Reggie Ball's face. And this is usually a ball that they drop. Pat Lowry's in no man's land. He's thinking, man, I caught the ball, I took it back, no one in front of me, I'm going to the house. But Reggie Ball, the one thing that they had to do, and they said this, if our defensive linemen are rushing, we got to get our hands in his face. And they love this guy here at North Carolina State. He's just a hard-nosed player. But watch this. It's a nice play by Reggie Ball, but see, he's moving backwards instead of forwards. And Willie Young right there getting those hands up, making the stop. Reggie Ball, the last guy. Look at Pat Lowry making a little move, a little William move and getting in for 6. See, right here, he's throwing backwards. And that's when the bad Reggie Ball. That's not the guy you want to see if you're Georgia Tech. Pat Lowry, he said, ooh, by you.
There is a review here to see if he stepped out of bounds. It was awfully close. Yeah. The official right on the call did not indicate he got any paint with his foot there. And as we take a look, it was awfully close right down the sideline. A couple times he nearly did it. A little tap dance into the end zone for a touchdown. The team captain from Mocksville, North Carolina.
Even if he doesn't get the touchdown, that was a nice play by a linebacker. You know, you don't see middle linebackers that can catch the ball. And his coach yesterday said he's got decent speed. He's not fast, but he showed something there. But once again, Willie Young, who had a bad play earlier, now makes a nice one. He just keeps the pressure. Now, this is where you're going to see if he steps out. You can't really see it from that angle. But he does a good job of staying in there and then making this nice move at the end. The angle there is tough to see. This may be a little bit better.
Right there, that's about the 22-yard line, Charles. He did step out, and also at the 19, it's close.
It's real close.
But the line judge who was on top of it
may
have seen some real estate between Lowry's left foot and the sideline.
Evidence confirms the call on the field. Touchdown.
It is a touchdown for the Pack. And the man who's 4th in the ACC in tackles a game, 28-yard return on the interception for a score. And that, as Charles so well put a moment ago, defines the enigmatic career of Reggie Ball. You just never know what you're going to get. Team was in control. Defense just made a nice stand. Then the pick six. It's a brand new game. Delaney will try the PAT and succeed. The man who had a school record 76 straight point after touchdown kicks has another for the man of the moment here in Raleigh, the captain, the senior Pat Lowry. Can you believe that, Mike Hall? First-year player from Mac Brown in Austin, and they're taking it to the Pokes early. Wow. Reggie Ball might learn a thing or two from the play of Colt McCoy.
Yeah, that Oklahoma State offense is pretty good. They've been doing very well in Big 12 play, but Texas, wow.
Delaney will kick here. Brand new game, folks, and a big one for Georgia Tech tonight. Evans, the deep man to receive at his 4. Jamal looks for a seam up the middle. Hit, spins outside the 30 to the 33-yard line, and that's where Georgia Tech will take over. Nice return by Jamal Evans of 28 yards.
Dave, we talked about this, and it stood out to both of us yesterday. Georgia Tech +9, North Carolina State -10 on the year. Right now, Georgia Tech is leading that stat because of that last pick six by Pat Lowry. And that's really what they have to do. They have to catch those. They said they had 4 drop passes that should have been interceptions last week.
And that 14-7 loss to Virginia. Now Steve Dunlap, the defensive coordinator, told us the sharp choice. Look at the real estate for Choice. Makes a cut. 30-yard line, out of bounds at about the 27-yard line of NC State. Choice got free and had plenty of room to rumble. And the Wolfpack reeling here after a 42-yard pickup. Miguel Scott chased him out.
Well, the blocking up front is just outstanding. You see Cox, you see those other guys up there, Matt Rhodes. And Mike Cox really is a driver in that, but these other guys do such a good job in that zone blocking potential. And then Tashard Choice just finding the hole. Now, when he's running north to south, he's awful tough to catch. And that hole has been there. Reggie Ball had a nice run earlier when it split open for him, and they found something there because there's so much emphasis on the outside trying to take away Calvin Johnson and James Johnson.
A junior from Riverdale, Georgia. Big carry there, had a career best 138 yards. And a couple touchdowns against Maryland. Ball in all sorts of trouble, throws it away in about the 3rd row. Showing some serious arm strength there. It's incomplete. Good pressure by Martrell Brown, the right defensive end, the junior, at 6'2", 290 pounds.
Well, and you know what they've done, North Carolina State? They're stopping Reggie Ball from running outside. Whenever they go outside, the defensive ends just say, hey, we're going to not respect anything else but staying in front of you and making you back up or throw off your back foot.
Good pressure from Brown, leads the team in sacks with 4. He's a junior from Maxton, North Carolina. The former defensive tackler is slimmed down to about 260 to play defensive end. 2nd and 10 here for Ball, and the Ramblin' Wreck. Choice again makes a nice cut and stood up there, nailed by Patrick Lowry at the 25-yard line. Lowry, really an amazing story. Just had the pick six a moment ago to bring NC State back in this game. Very good wrestler, an intelligent high school player, and because he was slightly undersized in high school, was about 6'1", 210 pounds. He wrestled at 215 pounds, a state wrestling champion here in North Carolina. He wasn't high up on the recruiting board for Chuck Amato and his coaches in terms of recruiting. They said, well, what do we think about offering him?
Yeah.
And sure enough, he's turned out to be the team's leading tackler, the interception and a touchdown tonight. You see the 3rd down numbers. Ball wants another timeout as the play clock was about to expire on him to avoid the delay of game penalty. And in my mind, always a good move for a quarterback on either side in the first half. Why not use your play stoppages? You've got 3 per half and get yourself in a bad situation.
I agree with you. You don't want to put yourself in a situation where you have something happen like last time, a turnover where it turns into 6 points the other way.
Calvin has 2 touchdown catches already in this game.
I haven't seen him use them in a quick slant. This would be a good area where he gets the ball and is able to run with it.
He's got huge hands. A good look at how long his arms there. 6'5", 235, the junior. Officially runs a 4.3 40 and has extraordinary vert leap ability at 45+ inches. This guy is just a superhuman athlete. 3rd down and 7. Ball throws over the middle. Has a man complete. Johnson brings it. It's James Johnson toward the goal line. In touchdown, Georgia Tech. James Johnson, the connection for 25 yards.
Into the end zone for
They use the other Johnson, same result.
I was going to say, I could be half right on this, right? Because if you don't go to Calvin Johnson, at least you hit the other brothers Johnson. They're not related, but hey, you got to see this because what they do is James Johnson catches the ball and then he has 3 guys trying to take him down. The real key with that is that he thinks he is fast as Calvin Johnson. They will not race each other. They talk about who's the fastest and they compete like no other.
Travis Bell has the point after. And Chan Gailey said it's so unfair to compare James Johnson with Calvin because they're different players. One so tall, but one a great possession receiver who can score touchdowns too. Just ask NC State. James Johnson, 3rd touchdown catch of the year, sophomore from Oakland, Florida. You're watching ESPNU Primetime. College football presented by Citi. See the drive there for Johnson, the other Johnson. And Georgia Tech didn't take him long. 3 touchdown passes down the night for Reggie Ball. By the way, that leads the ACC despite the 1 pick. He's been great tonight.
Well, and the other thing is James Johnson has to be happy to have a teammate like Calvin Johnson because it opens up so many things for him. And he celebrates. Calvin Johnson loves to see James Johnson be as successful as him. That's what you like about college football.
Mohamed Yayaoui was born in Algeria, the sophomore from Roswell, Georgia. Kicks off here. On the return, Darrell Blackman. Tripped up across the 30-yard line. 25-yard return for the wide receiver of the Wolfpack. And they'll go back at it here offensively. The young quarterback, Evans, getting the last word from Mark Trestman, his offensive coordinator.
That last drive was nice for them. Even though they didn't come back with, and then having the field goal, and then right after that, Pat Lowry with the touchdown interception return. So they have to get more efficient with the passing game, but Daniel Evans looked very, very good on that last drive.
You see the numbers for Evans. His offense still has not produced a touchdown. It was the Patrick Lowry pick-6 interception that did it. Little end round and reverse. Flag drops. Darrell Blackman dropped as well. Warren Daniels in on the stop at about the 37-yard line.
Come against Pat Bettix, I think.
Bill Robertson also tracked down Darrell Blackman there. Back him up 10 from the spot of the foul.
That's the toughest thing about a reverse. If you're a fullback or a tight end, you get out there in open space. The receivers are used to doing it. But when they have to get outside and try to block or stalk block, go and really slowly get the block. We're here after the call. I'll finish that after the call.
Holding. 46 of the offense. 10 yards to the spot of the foul. Remains first down.
And they're out in that open space. So you got a guy 6 foot 249, and he's not accustomed, always to get there. You can see him grab the leg right there instead of finishing his block. And that's really the key. He has Adam Oliver, who's a defensive end, and he's supposed to block him and stay outside or make him move a certain way, and he doesn't do it, and he just falls down and tries to grab him instead.
So the junior fullback Pat Bettix there. You give him a tackle in the stats for that one? That was something. Baker carries, is stood up at the 30-yard line. That's the forward progress. After the penalty, a long way to go here. Give him 6 yards. So the B&B guys trying to get things going offensively for North Carolina State. We've seen Darrell Blackman, speaking of B as a last name. He was a starting tailback last year, but because Baker and Andre Brown have been so effective, they've moved Blackman to a wideout spot. But one of these running backs has to emerge tonight, Charles, don't you think?
I really do, and I think that's where Georgia Tech is saying we're going to take him away. John Tenuta has a lot of respect for their running backs and Darrell Blackman. He says those are 3 playmakers on their offense that can really do a very good job. See the difference there in rushing them.
Huge. A lot of that going to Reggie Ball. Shard choice has been great for Georgia Tech tonight. On second down, Evans throwing. Pass was deflected. Looking there for Blackman. And it falls again incomplete.
See, what happens is your defense comes with only 5 people, but when they come, it's the timing of the blitz. And I think that's what hurts him. K. Michael Hall is there, and he gets by, but it's not him that just disrupts it. You put a one-on-one situation with the guard, and he's in a position and he's not able to pick that block up, and that just hurts him. Kalani Heppy, he's there, but he's not able to pick that block up, and it's because the pressure from the outside that leaves him in a one-on-one situation, a one-on-one matchup that he doesn't win.
Great pressure there from Darrell Robertson, the junior from Jonesboro, Georgia. A defensive end. Evans has 4 straight incompletions, trying to break the streak, will not. Looks for Barrett there, incomplete at the 45-yard line. Coverage from Jamal Lewis, and NC State has got to kick it.
I think one of the reasons that happened, Daniel Evans was a little bit, he wasn't shaken up, but when you get hit like that, the next play you come back, sometimes the quarterback doesn't quite have his wits about him, or he's just not as comfortable in the pocket. And right there was one of those throws where he didn't step into it and wasn't able to complete that pass.
Tyler Evans, the deep man for the Duraney punt. Evans stands at his 31 here. Plenty of time for Reggie Ball in the offense to get it going again. Beautiful punt by Duraney. Turns this one over. Evans backpedals to the 24. Hit right away. Great play on special teams for NC State. Miguel Scott on a 46-yard punt buries Evans. Let's go back to my call. SportsCenter U in-game update. Different look there for Cal, and Jeff Tedford's team. Back here in Raleigh, looking for Calvin Johnson on the swing pass at about the 25-yard line. Ball incomplete on first down. It'll be 2nd and 10 here for Georgia Tech with an 8-point lead. And a huge game tonight for Reggie Ball, the senior quarterback, who started all but one game in his Georgia Tech career. He's taken some heat in the media in Atlanta and nationally because of his inconsistencies. Even this year in preseason fall camp, he put his own media blackout on. He wouldn't talk to reporters for weeks until after the season opener, just to try to limit the distractions. Reggie tries to take control. Screen pass. Calvin Johnson makes a move. Sheds one tackle. Pulls some others with his 5th catch of the night to the 39-yard line. Nice pickup again, Georgia Tech. Calvin Johnson getting loose. 15 yards, first down.
They came back with the same play that they had an incompletion on the last time, and Reggie hits him between the 2 and the 1, and then he's able to make A.J. Davis miss. He gets by A.J. Davis. That's the key. It's almost like when you're little and you play against your dad. His arms are so long, he pushes you away, and it's almost like the guy that's trying to get you, but he can't. Calvin Johnson is just a freak of nature.
They cannot put a collar on Calvin Johnson. Really, no one can. One game this year, Calvin has been held without a catch. That was in the loss to Clemson. They got blown out. Ball throwing, first down. Fade route, James Johnson. Did he bring it in? It's then picked on a tip play, but there is a flag down, and this should be interference against NC State. Davis came up with a ball that was intended for James Johnson on a wild play. Flags all over the place.
This is the play where the receiver is doing an outstanding job of not allowing a pick to happen. And we'll talk about it. He stays on the train track, so to speak. He gets in front of the defender and doesn't allow him to run. He has to run through him to get to the ball. So this is a throw that hangs up there a little bit. And watch James Johnson. He slows down enough, and he forces the defender, A.J. Davis, who does a great job of taking the ball away.
We have defensive pass interference. Number 3, the defense. Penalty reinforced from the line of scrimmage, 15 yards, automatic first down.
Unfortunately for Davis, spectacular play, but guilty of the infraction for Chuck Amato. It's pass interference.
Well, I'm telling you, what happens is he bumps him with his chest and gets on his back, and that's because James Johnson slows down just enough to make him do that. And if he doesn't do that, he takes the ball away. He does a great job of going up to get it, A.J. Davis does, but by him running up his back, that's what they call the penalty.
Turnovers, penalties, lack of discipline. Chuck Amato preached that with us yesterday, and we're meeting with him at the NC State football complex, which is to our right in the end zone here. Beautiful stadium complex redone in the last couple years. Bad penalty there for Davis. Ball throwing, running for his life, and it's out of bounds, incomplete. Tashard Choice, the nearest yellow jacket to the ball. Good quarterback pressure again by Pat Lowry. Carter Finley Stadium jam-packed tonight. ACC football, crisp. November evening, Dave Ryan, Charles Arbuckle, our entire crew. ESPNU Primetime College Football presented by Citi. Georgia Tech ranked 20th in the nation, leading the ACC Coastal. Looking for the ACC championship game next month in Jacksonville. The winner of that one goes to the Orange Bowl. There is an NC State player shaken up. So this is a very big game for each team here. Montreal Brown is the shaken up player.
It's a guy they can ill afford to lose. Been down 30 pounds since last year. He played played tackle, and now they're able to move him in the end. They have him listed at 290, but they say he's down to about 260, 265.
Isn't that something? That's a big difference.
Yeah.
Slim down is not easy. I often see players when they come out of high school have to put on weight with a big diet and weightlifting, but losing is a different issue there.
Well, and they needed some help at the defensive end spot with all the guys they've lost over the last couple of years.
2nd and 10, screen pass. Got it again, Calvin Johnson. Stiff arms one man, then got brought down. Nice play. To about the 38-yard line, 7-yard game. Nice play there by Sutton. Let's go back to Mike Hall, Sports Center UN game update.
That brings up 3rd down. Now it's 3rd and 3.
So the Hogs looking pretty good there. Mike and Tom over the old ball coach, Steve Spurrier in South Carolina. That's the SEC. This is the ACC, and a big 3rd down play for Reggie Ball and Georgia Tech. Screen pass, no one there. Calvin Johnson, the intended receiver. It's incomplete. A.J. Davis ran into Johnson, who may have run a different route there, and ball through behind him. 4th and 3.
I think Reggie was expecting him to do something quick because of the pressure that was going to come. You could see North Carolina State came up with everyone in the box, and they were going to play Calvin Johnson straight up with help behind, and that's why Reggie Ball said, I got to get rid of the ball quick.
Durant Brooks set to punt here. He's a junior from Macon, Georgia. Georgia Tech, Chan Gailey told us this week, ecstatic with net punting. They lead the ACC in that category, 41+ yards. This is why. Coffin corner kick, a beauty, down there by the Yellow Jackets at the 2-yard line. 37-yard punt, perfectly executed by Durant Brooks. And NC State with its back against the wall here to begin the next drive.
Well, when you talk about outstanding players, you got to put Calvin Johnson in that mix. And Reggie Ball finding him here on the jump ball, just an outstanding catch. We talked about it earlier. A lot of pro scouts are salivating over his ability, and here's why. He's able to make plays in just 6 receptions tonight, 117 yards, 2 TDs, but it's the variety of it. Short passes, long passes, high passes. He got overthrown earlier, and I bet you don't say that too often with his leaping ability.
Calvin Johnson has come to play tonight. Couple of touchdowns. James Johnson has the other. 3 TD strikes for Ball. Evans throws out of the end zone. Fade route. And the ball brought in by John Dunlap at the 30. Then he dropped it. Called incomplete by the official. It'll be 2nd and 10. Dunlap nearly came up with that pass in traffic on the jump ball at the 30. 2nd and 10.
You know, North Carolina State will try to do this. They'll get the ball down the field up high and let these guys go up and get it. They have some height there. Dunlap at 6'2", and he tries to go up at his highest point. Brings the ball in, but never quite gets it. Almost catches it on the tip from Ward Daniels.
Dunlap had that huge catch we showed you earlier in our broadcast against Boston College, upsetting the highly ranked Eagles. On the last second play, called by many one of the biggest touchdown catches in NC State history. That says a lot. Give on 2nd down, not much doing at all.
Now, Dave, there have been some changes to that offensive line front. Leroy Harris has now moved back to the center position, and I think there's been a lot of changes.
Around the carry there, K. Michael Hall, one of the top linebackers in the ACC, stood him up and sent him back about half a yard. So it's 3rd. They'll call it 10 here for NC State. And you're right, transition the offensive line is trouble this late in the year, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And they're having to make a lot of moves and changes. And it hurts them in a game like this, especially when you have teams that blitz you as much as Georgia Tech does.
Dunlap moves in motion. Bottom of your screen. Pressure coming. Evans throws out of the end zone. Pass complete. Darrell Blackman brings it in. Sheds some tackles. Still on his feet. Across the 20 to the 21-yard line. Stopped by DJ Jones, 18-yard pickup. Blackman with a great play, not only to make the catch, but break some tackles too.
Jonathan Noodle before the game said this guy's outstanding. And Leroy Harris almost gets beat on that, and there was pressure up the middle. But Darrell Blackman, he said, hey, this guy is very, very, very good because he makes you miss him after he catches the ball.
All-state basketball player, Williamsport, Pennsylvania as well. Evans scrambling. Runs right, tracked down. After a gain of about 2. Philip Wheeler, the junior linebacker, team's leading tackler, makes the play for Georgia Tech. It'll be second down and long. Wheeler, another great story. The linebacker they've trying to catch up with a great tradition Penn State has put forth. All plus Lusney and Connor having a great game today despite their loss. For Penn State at Wisconsin. Wheeler, the junior from Columbus, Georgia. 3 sacks last week against Miami. He's all over the field. Leads the ACC tackles for loss. Second down, pass incomplete. Tries there for Hill at the 30, then he shoves a man after the play. And we do not, as yet, have a penalty. Chad Gailey is about 5 yards out from his spot. And then the officials trying to get some control of the game here.
It's 2 Houston boys going at it. I think they did end up calling it. K. Michael Hall is from Houston, Texas. Klein and Anthony Hill is from Clearbrook. Clearly not a play you can make at that.
Oh, boy.
K. Michael Hall almost acted on that play.
But still.
Yeah, he still
that was a hockey-like act, wasn't it, after the play there? You see some players go down trying to draw a penalty on the ice. Well, K. Michael Hall did the job, and now Anthony Hill's going to get an earful from Chuck Amato as his team takes a second personal foul penalty in this game.
It's Klein Forest High School with K. Michael Hall and Anthony Hill out of Clearbrook, but clearly you just go back to the huddle. Don't compound what you had there. And I think Chuck Amato is trying to calm him down because they need him in this ball game.
He was the team's leading receiver. The coach is saying, please, we're in decent shape on the drive. Don't push him. Doesn't matter what he says, or it does. Don't do it. Those penalties will get you. Now it's 3rd and forever here, 3rd and 23 officially. Swing pass, Darrell Blackman makes the catch, 10-yard line, a nice move. Lost the ball out of bounds at the 19. Trying to get back to the original line of scrimmage. NC State has got a punt again. And those silly penalties will just bury you. When you look at the stat sheet, you look at the game film, you can't believe things like that happen with K. Michael Hall here.
Just walk away. I mean, you just have to walk away on that.
Philip Wheeler, great linebacker we told you about, shaking up there for Georgia Tech. And the trainers came out, so he's got to come out for at least one play. That's the rule there. As Chuck Amato makes his notes. Must win really for Coach Amato and NC State. 3-5 record coming in. They've got to win 3 of the last 4 to be bowl eligible and make the 6th bowl in 7 years. 04, the only year Chuck Amato failed to make postseason game. Delaney kicks. Evans, steep man to receive. Another beautiful punt. Evans at the 35. Makes one man miss. Held up and then buried. Garland Heath makes the play. Let's go back to the studio, Mike Hall, and check out what's going to come our way at halftime. All right, gentlemen, we look forward to that. There was a personal foul called against Georgia Tech this time, right after the play on that punt return by Tyler Evans. So they'll be backed up. Will Reggie Ball in the offense 15 yards. See the penalty numbers for Georgia Tech. But the big number there for NC State, bottom of your screen. That has been a bugaboo for Chuck Amato's team all year long, and it's continued tonight. 1st and 10, ball over center. Haven't seen that a lot tonight. Choice changes directions. Tashard struggles ahead for a couple of yards. Pat Lowry again for his Mike linebacker spot. Middle linebacker makes the play. Choice 12 carries, 78 yards in the game tonight.
And when that ball is run in the middle of the field, you can expect that Pat Lowry will be right there. You know, his dad's a coach. He understands how to play the game. He knows angles, and that's a good matchup, 42 versus 22.
State champion in wrestling, number 4 ranked nationally. In high school at 215 pounds was Pat Lowry. Taking on Tashard Choice in this game. Pass way downfield. Looks there for Johnson. And it's incomplete. Davis on coverage again for NC State. Complete. Davis again on coverage at the 35-yard line on 3rd down. And NC State holds.
Davis was out 3 games with a hamstring injury. He could see he's playing much better. He ran the route that time for James Johnson. I mean, he was right there stride for stride, and when Johnson turned around, he turned around. And that's how you want your cover corner to play. You know, Calvin Johnson, you hear a lot about him, and James Johnson's a good receiver in his own right, but A.J. Davis, those last 2 plays were nice coverage.
Durant Brooks from Macon, Georgia. He set his high school 3-point shooting record in basketball. Blackman on 2 bounces. Durrell has it. And he's chased out of bounds on the far side at the 43-yard line. And that is where NC State will take a 44-yard kick on a former basketball star from Georgia. 8-yard return by Durrell Blackman. So NC State very much in this game thanks to Lowry's great defensive play. The pick 6 against Reggie Ball, despite the fact Calvin Johnson has 2 TD catches. James Johnson has another. They're still right in this ballgame.
They really are, and right now they're in a position where they can go into the no-huddle look that they have, and they don't have to speed up the tempo, but they can march the ball down the field, score, and maybe use that clock effectively and not give Georgia Tech any chances or any time to come back on offense.
Jamel Eugene is split to the right of Evans here. Throws on 1st down over the middle. Pass complete. Look who's making the catch again, Marcus Stone, who's got 2 catches tonight. He started the year as the starting quarterback after a great finish of the 05 season when the team won 5 of 6, made and won a bowl game. He's got 2 catches, given 14 yards, and Stone has told his coaches, hey, get me on the field, guys. I'm on special teams. And he had been told by Chuck Amato, the offensive coaches, I'm sorry, we can't risk losing the backup quarterback. Well, I guess they're risking it now as that pass incomplete on 1st down. Looking there for Eugene.
Well, and I tell you, the reason why they're in that mode, they have to win ball games to get into that bowl contention. They got to get there. And the thing with Marcus Stone is he's a great athlete. I mean, he's outstanding as an athlete, and they weren't using him. They weren't using him on the bench, so they said, let's get him out there.
Started the first 3 games of the year, but after a disastrous loss to Southern Miss was pulled. That pass incomplete. Looks for Stone again. So the new quarterback here in Raleigh to the former starter, Marcus Stone, who not only is out there trying to catch balls, he's got 2 catches and has become a primary target all of a sudden.
He was wide receiver on those first 2 plays. That play, he was a tight end. He ran an out route, 5 yards and out. And that can give them the speed that they need. Anthony Hill is an outstanding player, but in this offense right here, you're in a spread formation, you can put him as that tight end.
Pretty amazing story. Stone was 5-1 as a starter last year, 9-3 as a career starting quarterback here, but a couple losses early in the year. Chuck Amato made the change. Evans on the design quarterback draw, drilled. Oh, is he hit hard? Just slammed by K. Michael Hall, the senior linebacker. And Evans got crushed on that play.
Well, on 3rd and long, I didn't like that call. I mean, I know they were looking for an opening, and you say Daniel Evans is not a great runner, and you can see he just runs right into the heart of the defense. When you're putting a guy in a position he's not accustomed to, he rushes it because he feels K. Michael Hall coming from the outside. He still meets up with him at the point.
He felt it all right.
Yeah.
Big time hit by K. Michael Hall. He's an NFL prospect, great linebacker in Atlanta for Chan Gailey. So Delaney now will punt. This is deflating for NC State. After a couple nice plays to move the ball, looked like they might at least get a field goal try. Delaney wanted to be out there for a field goal. Instead, it's a punt and whistles and flags. Stop play. Oh, those penalties. Torched NC State all year. Delay of game.
Just kills your momentum if you're a team. I mean, it just takes away what you're trying to do.
Penalties decline, and they'll re-kick here. What did Chuck Amato tell us in our meeting with him yesterday? NC State has to stop beating NC State.
He said it repeatedly times.
Oh, emphatically telling us how critical it was for the Wolfpack to avoid bad penalties. It just hasn't happened. Delaney punting, tries to angle this one. As Evans came up to try to make that catch. 36-yard punt. Coming up at halftime, Sports Center U with Mike Hall. All the guys in the studio, wild day certainly in the SEC and the ACC too. Big 12 battles, and how about Ohio State and Michigan? Ohio State, a little struggle there at Illinois. Michigan, Ball State at the Big House, and Ball State, Dave Letterman's alma mater, gave Lloyd Carr's team a little struggle today, didn't they?
Up the road from Indianapolis, Muncie, Indiana, they gave them a tough battle. You look at that, if you're Michigan guys, you say, oh, easy win, but you can't take that approach anymore.
25 seconds left here. And Reggie Ball and Georgia Tech will take no further chance and take an 8-point lead into the locker room. 20th ranked Yellow Jackets trying for a 7th win of the year and stay on top of the ACC Coastal with Chan Gailey have a lead. Calvin Johnson, 2 touchdown catches. James Johnson, another, but they're not out of the woods yet against a pretty tough NC State squad.
NC State guys doing a good job of defense, helping themselves.
21-13 game here in Raleigh. Let's go to the studio. Mike Hall with Sports Center U. Well, we told you at the top of the broadcast, Calvin Johnson is the real deal. He has not disappointed. 6 catches, 117 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Charles Arbuckle in the first half. He has certainly delivered tonight. And Reggie Ball, up and down. That's been the story with his entire career. Has 3 touchdown passes, but threw the pick 6 to Pat Lara of NC State, and they're right back in this game.
Well, I think the real key with Reggie Ball, though, is managing the game and doing a much better job. But Calvin Johnson is your key. You have to have both of these. And we talked about it early on. If you have these 2 players making plays, it gives your offense a great chance. It makes your defense play better. You have to find them, and when you do, he has to make plays, and he seems to do it every single time. So the real key is that you got to see those 2 guys making the play together, but also the players around him. And Reggie Ball doing a very good job of not getting into too much trouble, except for that one play to Pat Lara.
Not 1 but 2 touchdown catches for the great Calvin Johnson tonight. Numbers through 30 minutes. Penalties have absolutely killed NC State. 6 for 67 yards. One reason we nearly had a 2-hour first half, and a lot of passing as well between these 2 teams here tonight.
Well, in the rushing yards for NC State, we said that they had to have effective running game from Andre Brown and Tony Baker. We haven't quite seen it. We'll see in this first drive if they are able to go back to that.
NC State won the coin toss to begin this game and deferred. So they'll receive. Darrell Blackman at his 5. Has a lot of room. Left side, Darrell Blackman. 40-yard line, 45 midfield. Looking for some blocks. Downfield, a cutback. Darrell Blackman may take it. 10-yard line. Touchdown, NC State. 95 yards, Darrell Blackman to the house.
Well, Dave, if your offense is struggling, you give yourself a chance. Your defense scores. You come back in special teams and start the half with a big play. This is what you have to do if your offense is struggling, to give them a push, give them a boost. And now you score 2 touchdowns that come from directly special teams and defense.
The only 2 touchdowns the Wolfpack has scored in this game. The all-time leader in NC State kickoff return yardage, who led the ACC last year in that category, shows us why. 95 yards to pay dirt. And the Wolfpack now can pull within 1 on the Delaney PAT try, which he nails.
Sometimes when you move a guy from running back to receiver, he loses his running back skills. But not Darrell Blackman. When he gets the ball in his hands, he's thinking, I got to score. and that's great blocking. They do a very good job. You can see him being led there by Tony Baker. Andre Brown, excuse me. But just good blocking by the special teams unit and keeping them out front, letting them go find the opening. And when he does, he doesn't hesitate. He goes and gets it. Look at this. He got a convoy of guys. This is a pretty sight if you're NC State fans. You know, hey, Darrell Blackman, ball in hand, nobody to get him but a kicker. 6.
Fourth career kickoff return for a touchdown. First of this season, had 2 last year and 1 in 2004. And Darrell Blackman, you can see the great all-purpose numbers. A player who was a starting tailback here in Raleigh last year and said after the change to Chuck Amato and his coaching staff, you know, I'm dragging in practice. I don't want to do this. I don't want to make the change. I'm used to handling the ball 20, 25 times a game. He's made the change well to wideout, and he's still excelling at special teams.
Well, you know what he just did, too? He took a shot, you know, basketball. Basketball is probably his first love, but he ran the ball like a running back. And that's when you get a chance to be the running back that you want to be in the kickoff return game. He showed you that. That is huge momentum change for this North Carolina State Wolfpack team. Wow.
Wolfpack offense has sputtered throughout this season, regardless of who the quarterback may be. And Daniel Evans or Marcus Stone. So special teams come through to begin the second half. It's going to be a wild one, folks. Buckle up. This has been a great game so far. Durrani will kick. Jamal Evans, the deep man. Short kick. Grabs it at the 9. Can he answer for Georgia Tech? There's a seam. And he's blasted outside the 30. Now the 34-yard line hit hard there. 25-yard return. And the hit made by Ray Mitchell.
Go get you some hot apple cider or hot chocolate.
You're going to need it tonight, partner. It's freezing up here.
Don't go anywhere. Stay right here. We got you covered. We got a great ball game.
And the ball numbers through 30 minutes. Did have the interception brought back by Lowry for a touchdown. First career pick and first career interception for the great middle linebacker, Pat Lowry. Here comes Georgia Tech. Can they answer the Darrell Blackman kickoff return for a score? Deep route, Johnson, it's incomplete. That's James Johnson. Good coverage downfield again by NC State and Garland Heath.
Hey, David, think about what we talked about with Chan Gamey earlier in the week. Our kickoff coverage hasn't been very, very good. And right there, you can see why. And that's a momentum-changing play. One play can make a big difference for a team. They come out now with Reggie Ball on the offensive side, incomplete pass, now 2nd and long. This defense has to be hyped up. The fans are behind them. You don't like to see that in a special teams game.
Now, we asked him that this week. How do you feel about special teams? He said, I love my net punting. It's leading the league. But kickoff coverage, yeah, that's the weak link there. As Tashard Choice carries off left tackle for a couple of yards. Give him 3. It'll be 3rd and 7. Tackle made by Tank Tyler. Real name DeMarcus, but one of the best names in college football. If you're named Tank, you can play football. Am I right, Charles?
Yeah, you're right. And I think when you look at this defensive front, the 2 inside guys, DeMario Presley, Tank Tyler, they are very good. They have some young backups, but those 2 are big, stout, big, firm guys inside.
Tank had 13 total tackles to lead the effort against BC in an upset win. 3rd and 7, ball in trouble. Pass is behind his man. It's incomplete. Choice, the intended receiver. Who was there? Tank Tyler and Patrick Lowry trying to track down Tashard Choice, and Tech has got a punt.
Pat Lowry was like Velcro on Tashard Choice. He ran the route for him. Hey, and if the ball had been a little higher, he was trying to get another interception on that one.
Already has one, but he's brought back for a score. Travis Bell, the junior punter from Roswell, Georgia, set to release at his 25. Look who's back. Again for NC State. Darrell Blackman just brought back the kickoff for a score. Great punt. And Blackman, the fair catch at the 15-yard line. Is a flag down on the play. As Bell got nailed, DeJuan Morgan may have hit him.
That's just a frustrating thing when you see that. You have to, you can't make those kind of mistakes. I mean, I know guys are giving great effort in doing that, but you can't do that.
Running into the kicker. Number 7 of the defense. Penalties declined. First down.
49-yard punt there would not have been enough for the first down. So a decline there on that Play with Durant, Brooks run into. But the man of the moment right now, Darrell Blackmon, the long kickoff return, 95 yards for a score. NC State with a 2-3 record in ACC play, but all 5 of their ACC games, partner, decide by 7 points or less. They've been in tight games week in and week out, and no change here tonight against Georgia Tech, ranked 20th in the nation. Evans the handoff, and Baker not much doing there, struggling to get back to the line of scrimmage. Tackle made by Philip Wheeler.
Well, and you talk about running backs needing to play well. You can see right there, not good at all. Very inept running game for the Wolfpack tonight. And it doesn't get any better now. It looks like Leroy Harris is down. Their excellent guard or center playing a little bit of both tonight. They need him in the ball game, and he went down. And that doesn't help your running game as it already is.
Harris starting tonight, as Charles mentioned, at left guard. He's been all over the place in the offensive line. He has 40 straight starts coming to this one tonight. He's a senior from Raleigh. As we told you about, he's married. Little son Trey just turned 1 last month. And as Leroy has talked about, his wife Christina sometimes will come home from a long day of taking classes and then practice, watching film, lifting. His wife's hair is all over the place because she's chasing little Trey around the house, and he realizes, you know, I've got more than just football and classes to worry about. I've got responsibility as a father too, and he relishes the time with his young son.
Watch the top of your screen there after the pile. It kind of gets rolled over, and that's the toughest part for offensive linemen when they get exposed. The pile kind of rolls over the back of his leg.
Harris started the first 8 games of the year at center, then moved when Luke Lathan was hurt to guard. He was a Remington Trophy candidate coming into this season as the nation's top center. So he's been everywhere in the line, and the coaches tell us a surefire NFL prospect.
And he plays very well. I mean, he's one of the key guys inside for him.
Harris under his own power walks off. That's the best news right now for NC State. And Chuck Amato knows his best lineman has just left the game. And Kalani Heppy, the junior from Bealton, Virginia, who had 10 knockdown blocks in the game against Wake Forest, comes in a big spot, backing up Harris. Evans throwing. Ball deflected at the line, drops incomplete. Adam Oliver got a piece of it. Nice play defensive end spot for Georgia Tech, and it's 3rd and 10.
John Tenuta calls him the machine. He said he never stops moving. And as a defensive lineman, actually, to Michael Hall.
Yeah.
Michael Hall
sure was.
They both were in the vicinity. But he says those 2 guys make plays for us time and time again. That time it's K. Michael Hall, but he says Adam Oliver and this guy here are key components to that defense.
K. Michael Hall, a huge fumble recovery in the win over Larry Coker's Hurricanes last week. 3rd down numbers, you saw him. Evans scrambling. He'll run with it. 20-yard line, 25, 1st down and more. Daniel Evans slides and gets hit at the 29. Heads up play by the sophomore quarterback, gave him 13 yards. And a Wolfpack 1st down, hit there by Jamal Lewis.
Good job here. They're coming with the blitz, and everybody is picked up. So he sees that, and you see he has openings, and he does just enough to keep K. Michael Hall off balance and get down the field. When the blitz is picked up and they don't have anybody back there, 35 has to make a play. And you can also see Avery Robinson has to be there as well. Roberson, excuse me. But if they're not, that allows the quarterback to get those positive yards.
Shotgun for Evans on 1st down. Throws on the near side, has a man. Brought in by Dunlap, and John's got a nice gain out to the 40-yard line, 11 yards, another 1st down. First catch of the night for John Dunlap, who's been a huge hero this year here in Raleigh, the big play to beat BC earlier in the season.
Hey, David, it's just amazing to watch this offense because they go in spurts where they play very, very well, and then there are other spurts where they just don't look comfortable, they don't look in rhythm. And right now, they're going well. And Mark Trustman, he said that yesterday, I got to figure out a way to keep this consistency. I got to keep them going. And that's what we have to do on a more consistent basis.
You'll want to use Dunlap. Game-winning catches not only against BC, but against Florida State the next week. The highlights of the season for NC State so far. Fade route. Evans a man open there. It's incomplete. Looking for Darrell Blackman at the 21-yard line. And Georgia Tech dodges a bullet there. He was wide open again, beating coverage. Surprisingly there. Avery Roberson got toasted.
Well, and what happens also, too, they pick up that blitz that comes. Now, this is the key part for me if I'm watching North Carolina State. That's a chance right there to catch that ball. What do they do on the next play? That's what they've done in past times. They haven't come back with the mindset of making another play, even though they missed on that last one.
No doubt. Big key. Can they rebound from, in this case, adversity of the missed pass play? On second down, pump fake, then throws on the far side. Brought in. Lamart Barrett at the 46-yard line, his third catch of the night. Lamart, as we told you earlier in the broadcast, his coaches predicted would have a big game, picks up 6 there on first down. You just get a feeling Charles Evans has found rhythm here.
I think so, and the offensive line has done a good job of protecting. Now, this Georgia Tech defense hadn't stopped coming with the blitzes, but they've found ways to stop them. Those guys are playing stout up front, and it's allowing Evans to find his open receivers.
NC State trying to improve on the third down conversion number. Big play here, 3rd and 4. Evans shotgun. Fires right side. Hill's got it. Swung out of bounds, though, short of the first down. Needed the 50 to get a nice play by Anthony Hill. But not much doing. Kenny Scott, a much smaller cornerback, wrestled him down pretty easily.
I always like to see tight ends catch footballs, but in that instance, there's no way he can make the first down because he's catching the ball 2 or 3 yards short, and then he has a defender right on him. You know, the design of the route, you know, you hear so many people say, oh, he should have got past the marker. Well, the design of the route puts him in that position where he's 2 yards short. So you have to get a route that's run to the proper depth to get the first down.
Scott an all ACC pick. Chan Gailey, as Evans awaits the punt here from Delaney, called Scott a big key to the defensive effort this year. Evans wants everyone away from the football. Bounces at the 25 and checks up at the 24-yard line. 20-yard kick by Delaney. Georgia Tech a 1-point lead on North Carolina State. Think about an upset here in Raleigh tonight. 21-20 game here, 3rd quarter. North Carolina State defense from last year lost Mario Williams, first overall pick to the Texans. Manny Lawson, an outside linebacker of the 49ers. John McCargo, defensive tackle of the Bills. 3 first-rounders. 6 players drafted off the team as choice carries. Not much doing there defensively. Nice stop made by Garland Heath, Roverback. So how, if you're Steve Dunlap, Charles, do you replace that kind of great talent on defense?
Well, and he also said they've lost 3 corners in the last 2 years to the NFL. So they've had a lot of talent, but they've recruited very well here. And I think the other thing is last year with all those great guys, 5 now in the NFL, they didn't sack Reggie Ball at all last year. So it just goes to show you, it may not always be about the talent that's on the field right at that time. They've pressured Reggie Ball tonight. They've done a good job of getting in his face, making him make bad decisions at certain times.
Second down for Ball. Could be a broken play, in trouble, and throws out of bounds. Then a flag is dropped, and Reggie is upset because that might be intentional grounding. If it is, he saw James Johnson over there, the intended receiver, Martrell Brown, on pressure. And Ball saying, hold on one moment.
Steve Dunlap is doing an excellent job of getting his ends up the field and making them just stay at home. And this is Reggie Ball. This is a big mistake by him.
It sure is.
Because all he has to do is make that guy miss, and he's usually good about making the first person miss, which is the defensive end.
And he's hot, too. He is upset about the call.
Intentional grounding. Number 1 on the offense. Spot fail. Repeat the that.
But that box just continues to go back, meaning inside the tackles. Now, watch where you see the rush come in. He never gets outside of the tackle box. You see that? He keeps going back, 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 instead of getting over around the outside. Martrell Brown just does a great job of saying, okay, I'm going to keep you in here, and if you throw the ball, you're going to make a mistake.
Part of that is a terrible error by Reggie Ball. 19 yards they lose in the exchange there because it's spot of the foul call. Chan Gailey's getting the explanation by the official now. That's huge.
Well, you see where the tackle was, and he stayed inside of him. If he gets outside and runs around, then he can throw the ball away.
3rd and 25. Choice carries. Tries to turn the corner. And he'll get a chunk of it back, give him 7 yards out to the 18-yard line, but on 3rd and 25, nowhere near enough for a first down.
That was 3rd and down to Benson, North Carolina on that one. I mean,
3rd and forever.
You know, you're in Tobacco Row here, Chapel Hill, Durham, and Raleigh, but you had to go way out to Smithfield for that first down.
Well, Blackman stands at his 36. Grant Brooks, the punter here for Georgia Tech. NC State hoping for a short field, good field position. Fair catch made at the 40-yard line. 42-yard punt. Let's go back to Mike Hall, Sports Center UN game update.
The fair catch is the football at the 39-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Wolfpack.
How about Colt McCoy? Vince Young, Chris Sims, Colt McCoy. And he's right up there with the all-time greats as a redshirt freshman, as Mike has pointed out. Just an amazing job for Mack Brown this year, as Texas looks for its 9th straight season with at least 9 wins. 1st and 10 here, NC State bidding for an upset here in Raleigh. Slant pattern, Blackman brings it in. Durrell, nice catch. Wrestled down across midfield for progress to the 48. Give him 15 yards. Roberson makes the play. 3rd catch of the night. And a spectacular evening so far for Darrell Blackman. Carter Finley Stadium, the site, Raleigh, North Carolina. The announcers, Dave and Charles, our entire crew. It's ESPNU, primetime college football brought to you by Citi. Georgia Tech, 20th ranked team in the nation, leaders of the Coastal Division of the ACC. There you see the total yardage numbers. A lot of those to Calvin Johnson, who had 2 touchdown catches in the first half. But NC State breathing right down their necks right now. Pass over the middle. That's brought in again by Big Anthony Hill, the tight end, to the 31-yard line. 5th catch of the night and a big pickup for North Carolina State. Roberson again on the play, and Hill has had a great evening himself.
Well, Dave, the other thing that they're doing, the offensive line, again, giving Evans time. They're going to the no huddle. Watch this. There's no penetration by all those folks blitzing, and it's just a nice throw and catch. Now, Anthony Hill had the defender draped on his back, Anthony Roberson, but he was still able to take the ball away from him for a nice game.
Anthony Hill has taken over for T.J. Williams, a former great player here, who's now in the NFL with the Buccaneers. Last 2 years, a big star. Evans throwing, 1st down, post route over the middle, it's incomplete. Looking there for Lamar Barrett. It'll be 2nd and 10.
And they found the tempo. Usually John Tenuta is able to change up his blitzes, but this North Carolina State offensive line has done a very good job in this quarter of just finding where those guys are. And their offensive linemen are also moving their feet very well. They're working together, and that's been the biggest problem for them. They've also done a very good job of what? Not making mistakes, holding or offside penalties in these last couple of drives.
And who's still out of the game? Leroy Harris, their star left guard, has played all the positions. Curtis Crouch, number 76, has done a great job in the trenches. 2nd down, pass looks there for Hill, incomplete at the 30. Little too far as Evans led his star tight end, Anthony Hill, who's obviously his top target, and it's 3rd down.
He got hand-tied. You know, you talk about people getting tongue-tied. Well, as a receiver, you try to go up and you don't know if you want to have your hands over or under, and that's all that was. And if you're a big guy, sometimes you try to go under, and it's hard to catch. You can see his numbers are good tonight. That's just one of those ones where he just kind of got in that no man's land as a receiver.
Really stood out in fall camp, his coaches told us. A good player playing behind a great player in T.J. Williams, and now Hill has taken over that position. Design screen, nothing doing there. Ball's broken up, it's incomplete. Looking for Andre Brown at the 36-yard line. Joe Anawai all over it, in addition to Jamal Lewis, and there was nowhere Brown could go even if he made that catch.
And that was a long design of a screen. It took too long, and Joe Anawai, he's always around. That's his nickname, Hawaii 5-0. I mean, John Tenuta just raved about it.
We have a long field goal coming up here. Evans out there to hold for Delaney, who's going to try a 49-yard field goal. As NC State tries to cash in on special teams again and take a lead here. Missed it. Well, ride to the right. As Delaney misfires. The kicker, who is 9th all-time in NC State history field goal percentage coming in, cannot come through. Did have a couple earlier, but a miss there. Keeps it a 1-point game. Yellow Jackets in front. ESPNU College Football Primetime is brought to you by State Farm. Great service, great rates. It's all here. Nobody takes care of you like State Farm. This is a very big game, folks, for Georgia Tech for a 10th straight year. Chan Gailey and this program bowl eligible already, but they're thinking about winning the Coastal Division of the ACC, making the ACC title game. Lots of movement. Young pops across the line before the snap. We'll see if he was drawn off.
We talked a lot about coordinators, and we haven't mentioned Patrick Nick's name enough tonight.
Prior to the snap, illegal snap, number 6 in the offense. 5-yard penalty.
Well, Tuminello, the great center for Georgia Tech. You can't do that. Illegal snap starts the play too early.
And Patrick Nix has really been a key component. He's taken the play calling duties away from Chan Gailey. I know Chan Gailey is still involved with what happens, but he's really been happy with the development in this offense.
After the penalty, ball, some trouble. Flushed out of the pocket right, throws on the move. His pass incomplete at the 40-yard line.
Now that's a throwaway ball that Calvin Johnson almost comes up with the catch.
Did. Willie Young on pressure there. And Johnson made an incredible job to tiptoe on the sideline there and almost grab it.
Well, they said the key, the defensive guys all said we got to get Reggie Ball moving sideways and really moving around. And you can see, key is they had to make him move around and not get to a point where he was going to be going forward.
After the Kevin Tuminello false start to begin the drive. Second and long. Tashard Choice going absolutely nowhere. He is bottled up. Pat Lowry among many as a swarm of red jerseys converge. On to Tashard Choice. It'll be 3rd down and long.
Dave, do you get the sense that neither team wants to win this game? They're both just kind of stalling. You know, the drives for the offense haven't gone well. There's really been no offensive firepower from either team. It's been in between the 20s.
Second half, zip. Less than zip for Georgia Tech offensively. Wow, what a turnaround after Ball had 3 touchdown passes in the first half. 3rd and long, shotgun, fires far side, pass broken up, incomplete. Great play on the far side by Jimmy Sutton on the ball intended for Johnson. And Georgia Tech has to punt again.
Well, they're in such long situations that Calvin Johnson has to get down the field. He would have been short even if he had caught it. But Jimmy Sutton knows that, stays down low. They have guy high, and they're able to play high-low, so to speak, against Calvin Johnson and not allow him to have any catches in this half, I think. I mean, he's been shut out in this half.
We've got -3 yards. That's it. Nothing going at all offensively here. Good play by Sutton, the junior from Boca Raton, Florida. And Darrell Blackman again back to receive the punt, but whistles and flags will stop play. And we'll investigate the call.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 93 of the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
Well, yet another penalty. We've had plenty of those in this game.
If you're Georgia Tech, you better get your coverage team down. We talked about the kickoff coverage not being good, but they cannot afford their punt coverage team to be bad here with Darrell Blackman.
That was Michael Johnson, their fine defensive end, guilty of that penalty for Chan Gailey. So Durant Brooks is backed up 5. He released from his 10. Blackman grabs at the 40. Darrell splits 2 tacklers. Into Georgia Tech territory down to the 46. Nifty return by Darrell Blackman, who's been spectacular tonight. 14-yard return. And once again, NC State in great shape.
Playing a point guard is good. You can see how he's able to get up the field.
It's like on the hardwood, right? Coming up. ESPNU College Football Primetime presented by Citi. Full day of college football wraps up. The Howard Bison take on the South Carolina State Bulldogs, a MEAC clash. ESPNU College Football Primetime presented by Citi tonight at 10 Eastern. For more, log on ESPNU.com.
At the Hall of Fame induction this year, Harry Carson had a contingent of South Carolina State people, and they were in full force for him being inducted this year.
TOP category here, partner. Time of possession dominated by NC State so far in the second half. Little pitch play. Brown carries and drags tacklers down to the 36-yard line. Nice pickup on first down for Andre Brown.
Dave, you don't see that much anymore, where you just the old school pitch. You know, everybody runs stretch plays, they run different plays, you know, options with the quarterback and the running back. But that was just a nice pitch outside, getting Andre Brown up the field.
Did pick up 10 yards. So the B&B guys, Brown was carried well in this game tonight, along with Tony Baker. Just over 6.5 left, third quarter. Pass on the far side, incomplete there. As he looks for Donald Bowens. Donald, a freshman receiver.
When you have a timing offense and you have those kind of plays, it doesn't mesh. You know, you come back and you have a nice run by Andre Brown, and you come back and you're not able to complete an easy 5-yard pass.
Bowens has been bothered by injury troubles this year. Had his first career touchdown against Southern Miss in that bad loss. That was his first career start. Led the team against Southern Miss that night. 4 catches, 76 yards, and a score. Second out here, Evans passing over the middle. And that pass incomplete. Bowens again, the intended receiver, at about the 17-yard line, where Daniels on coverage.
And we talked about this leading into the game, how the ACC and the quarterback play has been so sporadic as a conference. And this is tonight, a prime example. It's been a tale of kind of two different kind of quarterbacks. I mean, you see Daniel Evans looking very good at times and very bad at times, and Reggie Ball looking outstanding at times, and at other times not so outstanding.
Third down numbers unimpressive for NC State tonight. Can they change the trend here? We'll see if one of the offenses in the second half can get going. Evans, trouble, fires on the move. It's incomplete. On the far side again on third down. Barrett, the intended receiver. Got plenty of pressure on Daniel Evans.
And you can chalk it up to this being a very defensively heavy league this year, but you got to have better play out of your quarterback position. And you look around the conference, and there's just not a lot of 200-plus passing yards per game by offenses.
Gary Guyton provides the pressure there. Another long field goal attempt for Delaney, who's got the good leg. We know that. This is a 53-yarder. He tried from 49 yards earlier in the quarter and missed badly to the right. We'll see if he's got the leg for this long boot. Try to give the Wolfpack the lead. A little line drive that isn't anywhere near the goalpost. No good. Stays a 21-20 game, and the momentum perhaps shifts back to Reggie Ball as we see his touchdown passes now leading the conference up to 16 with 3 TD passes tonight. And it's an interesting point of discussion, Charles, about the ACC status with quarterbacks these days.
Well, you also look at that. You can look at the touchdowns and say, man, there should be more at this point. But also teams per game. There's only 3 teams with over 200 yards passing. Florida State, Boston College, and Miami on the year. That's not what's going to get you done as a conference even.
No other quarterback in the league as Choice carries has more than 9 touchdowns. To Shard Choice, nice run, and he swung down. Face mask penalty is coming. LaRue Rumpf involved in the tackle, and he grabbed Tashard's face mask, and they'll tack on some yardage here against NC State.
Tashard Choice is a tough guy. I've seen him get up, and he'll go after linebackers, defensive linemen, but that hurt, you know, when you're running down the field and the guy just takes you and wrenches your neck, so to speak.
Ooh, 15-yarder too. That's tough of your NC State. Pile on even more penalty yards as Rumpf the guilty party.
And Rumpf is a converted safety. He played safety last year, started 7 games, and he just reaches out. It's a problem when you reach. That's why guys don't, coaches teach you don't arm tackle, because that's one of the bad things. A missed tackle is one thing, but to reach out, you know, feet out of position and not able to make the play, and he just yanks him down by the face. That's, the guy can get hurt there.
Ooh. Yikes. Georgia Tech bench saying, excuse us, penalty there. 15-yard variety. First down of the second half here for Georgia Tech. They had 3 3-and-outs prior to this drive, so finally something going here for the Yellow Jackets on offense. 1st and 10. Choice the carry, bounces off one tackler and Tank Tyler, but Tank recovers and drives him down.
Tank is athletic for a big guy. I like to see that. Big 72 goes over and tells Choice something, and he gives him 5. You know, a lot of times in the floor of the game, you think guys want to take each other's head off, but look at this right here, possessions. They were just running the ball down the field, throwing it up, and doing very well. 3 touchdowns. It's just been a tale of 2 teams. But getting back to that point, you like to see those big defensive linemen sometimes give him that, just to know, hey, I respect you tonight.
And they've got to respect the numbers for Tashard Choice. 18 carries, 109 yards. He'll carry here again in the shotgun formation. Nothing doing. Lowry stood him up and drove him back. Patrick Lowry, another big play on defense for the Wolfpack. And again, Georgia Tech moving the wrong way.
But Dave, at the same time, they can respect you, but they don't have to like you. And no. Pat Lowry is the other guy. 4-2 is finding 2-2. And saying, hey, I'm going to be with you everywhere you go. I know you got 100-some yards, but I'm going to hit you and tattoo you every time I see you.
His teammates say he's tough, got that thick neck, short haircut. He's the state wrestling champ. He's just sort of that Butkus-looking type guy, Pat Lowry. As we see the numbers on Choice. Throwing, pass intercepted. Brought in by NC State, Garland Heath. With some room, tracked down inside the 30, finally by Georgia Tech. Garland Heath makes a huge play for the Wolfpack.
Well, a good drive gone awry. Reggie Ball with the ball thrown right to him. I mean, Garland Heath knows where the ball is going to go, and he just picks it off. He looks like he's a receiver. You know, at some point they're going to Calvin Johnson. They had run the ball so well to Tashard Choice, and then to come back and make that decision, those are the things that hurt you long term, and one of the reasons why North Carolina State has a chance to win this ball game because of those kind of mistakes.
The senior from Belglade, Florida, that incredible Glade Central High School program. Down near West Palm. Brown, the delayed give off the right tackle. Stumbles ahead inside the 25 down to the 22. Long return a moment ago from Garland Heath to 43 yards. And Reggie Ball, and again, Georgia Tech in some trouble. What did he see there in terms of the coverage?
Well, I guess he thought that Garland Heath was going to stay outside. He turned back in. And Calvin Johnson, they've been playing that look on him where they have a guy low and a guy high. And he was trying to pick up that first down, and he stayed with them the whole time. That's really what happened.
Coaches call Heath a great leader. He was the play caller in the secondary from his safety or rover back position. Brown again, same play call down to the 20. Give him 3. Andre's shot of first down will be 3rd and short here. And this is where NC State has sputtered, Charles, with their drives in the second half. They've dominated this game. After the Blackman return for a touchdown to begin the second half, they just can't cash in with points.
They kind of just stop at the 30 or the 25, and now they have to figure out, how do we get 3 yards? How do we get 3 yards? Because the game is there for you. When you have opportunities, you got a great situation, the fans are behind you. What do you do on 3rd and 3? Pick up the first down.
Well, Tressman, the offensive coordinator, will hope to see Evans convert here. Fires near side. Pass brought in. Nice play. Jaron James has his second catch. Down to the 13-yard line, and the chains move for NC State. 7-yard pickup.
Daniel Evans didn't panic on that play either. You know, he stayed in the pocket, even though pressure coming up front, and he stayed with his eyes focused down the field. And then the minute he saw that pressure, he worked outside to Jaron James. That was a nice throw by him with pressure coming up the middle.
James now split out to the far right here on 1st and 10. Just over 2 to go. Exciting 3rd quarter. Brown trying to turn the corner. Lewis tracks him down. And Robertson also escorts him out of bounds on the far side. As Andre Brown, hard-fought yards, give him 5.
and he's got a rhythm going. You can see Andre Brown, the bounce in his step. Darrell Blackman going over talking to him. He had a chance to get tackled for a loss, and he showed some of that explosion and speed to get outside to pick up 5 yards on that play. Sometimes as a running back or a receiver or quarterback, you have to make plays when there's nothing there, and he did that on that particular one.
2nd and 5. Evans over center this time. Brown. Lewis got a hold of him. Wheeler helps finish. Absolutely nothing doing there for Andre Brown on the carry.
Great defense by Georgia Tech. The offensive line had no movement up front, and Brown is hit as soon as he's in the backfield. They're coming, and they run right into the teeth of that blitz. Now, Jamal Lewis is the first one to hit him, and he stayed down after that play. But you can see the host of Georgia Tech tacklers.
Kenny Scott finished the job. Loss of 5 for Brown and NC State. And just after we mentioned, when they get close to the red zone, struggles.
It's a mental thing now. You go through the season, it becomes a mental thing for the players, the coaches, the fans. It becomes one of those things where you don't want to talk about it, but it's right there in the room. 800-pound elephant in the room.
2 field goals converted by Delaney in the first half inside the red zone. The 2 touchdowns have come, one on a pick and one on a long kickoff return by Darrell Blackman. 3rd and 10. Brown the give. Struggles toward the 10-yard line, needs the 4 for a first down, and ooh, the natives are restless here in Raleigh. Some boo birds come out on Mark Trestman, the offensive coordinator's call there on 3rd and long.
I think they thought very conservative when we have a chance to go down the field and score a touchdown. You can't fault Andre Brown. He fought hard on that drive. That was one of those ones where he tried to get everything he could. There wasn't a lot there on the last couple of plays.
So Delaney, who's missed his last 2, will try this one from a much more reasonable distance of 28 yards. Trying for his 3rd of the night. Whistles and flags stop play. That is good, but let's investigate the laundry here.
We shouldn't be surprised by that.
Prior to the snap. Ball start. Number 93.
Oh, if you're Chuck Amato, what are you thinking right now? We just had 3 points taken off the board, and you risk a block, you risk a miss. So many things can happen. You had the points.
He said they bring in officials. They do everything the right way. They make guys run extra. They do everything about these penalties, but they continue to happen.
A 34-yard attempt.
They grade film. Even after a win, he says he'll talk with players about mistakes and penalties, and they get reprimanded. It's a big deal here. So you back him up 5, and he's got it. 3rd field goal of the night. John Delaney and NC State take a lead here against 20th ranked Georgia Tech. This year, the 40th anniversary. Now the opening of Carter Finley Stadium. It is homecoming here tonight in Raleigh as well for NC State alum Chuck Amato. And the turnovers, Charles, have just really killed Reggie Ball and Georgia Tech. First, Pat Lowry, the pick 6. One of 2 interceptions. Ball has uncorked tonight.
Well, and the key is, when Garland Heap takes that ball back, it just takes so much away from your offense when you've driven the ball down the field, and then you come back and you get those 3 points to put you ahead. John Delaney, good.
Able to cash in on a 32-yard field goal. There are the takeaways and the points off of that. Reggie Ball, the up and down roller coaster quarterback for Georgia Tech. The fans have dealt with his inconsistencies throughout his career. Big question here for me, Calvin Johnson. Where's he been? No catches in the second half. Can he take over here? We'll see. Evans on the return out to the 27-yard line. Give him 22 yards on the return.
We talked about the key being what do you do? And Georgia Tech had come into the game with a +9. Now they're down +7. And North Carolina State -8 with those 2. They're +2 tonight. So good for them, bad for Georgia Tech.
Calvin Johnson, future NFL superstar, split out to the left here. He's been neutralized so far in the second half. No catches at all in the 3rd quarter. Had 2 touchdowns in the first half. Choice, the pitch, comes left with it. He's bumped out of bounds at the 30. Pickup of 2 or so. Miguel Scott able to track him down and throw him out of bounds.
Well, I think he said go to Calvin Johnson, but what they have to do is maybe it's a short route and let him catch it and run with it, not try to go down the field. Those fire calls or something where he can get the ball quickly and then work up the field.
7 of 8 games. Calvin does have a touchdown so far. And another one here. 7 of the first 9 games. The ball's 0 for 5 here in the second half with 1 interception. Hasn't completed a pass. Forget Calvin Johnson. Play handoff, choice again. Lowry drags him down from behind. A nice play by Patrick Lowry, the senior captain middle linebacker. Got to the 31-yard line or so, well shy. First down, third down again here for Georgia Tech. All of a sudden in a hole. And there's the split. Look at the first half compared to nothing in half number 2.
You got to keep him involved, and he's not going to say anything. He's just going to go out there and try to make plays. But at the same time, Reggie Ball has to find a way to just make a completion. Something easy for him to get his rhythm back, but also the team to get their rhythm back.
Fans make some noise on third down. Ball rolls right, throws. And it's Johnson. He brings it in. Makes a nice play out there. Had to get himself to the 38-yard line for the first down, and he did just that. First down for Georgia Tech. Sutton uncovered.
Well, and the only problem with these plays are these are the ones that North Carolina State can pick off. Well, let's see if he caught this pass. You can't really tell there. It looks like he gets his hands under. Let's look at this angle. He just wanted to stop, goes and catches the ball. Looks good there.
That's a good catch, 1st and 10. Choice again, he's been busy tonight, well over 100 yards. He puts him down after a nice gain on first down of about 5. But Tashard Choice, who has certainly been the feature back here, the junior from Riverdale, Georgia. 3rd leading rusher in the ACC coming in. And Choice really opens up the offense because Calvin Johnson, James Johnson, such great threats. If Choice can run, that helps the pass game. 117 yards tonight for him. 2nd and 5. Choice, one more time. Got through the tackle of Lowry, slips ahead, got to the 49-yard line. Looks like he has enough for the Tech first down.
And you know what he did a good job of? He put the defense to sleep by working to the left and then coming all the way back to the right. Mike Cox was over there, Mansfield Rado on that right side. And he was able to start almost behind, in between the left guard and the left tackle, and work all the way back across.
The transfer from Oklahoma has had a fine night, 123 yards and counting for Tashard Choice. Huge game here for Georgia Tech tonight. Fade pattern, looks for Johnson, who brings it in, but he's out of bounds. Both feet, still a spectacular catch by Calvin Johnson, who rarely shows any emotion, either positively with all the touchdowns, leading the ACC, or negatively when anything happens. Kind of surprised to see him react that way.
Well, and they say some of the catches that he makes out of bounds are as spectacular as the ones he makes inbounds, but there was no chance for him. He has to go up and get it. Ball clearly out of bounds.
He is a perfect teammate, according to Chan Gailey, speaking to him this week. The type of guy who just wants to win. Forget about the stats. Choice has a hole into the secondary. Tashard Choice, still on his feet, spins through tacklers, down to the 33-yard line. Give him 16 yards. Another Tech first down.
And Dave, you know what happened there? When you're that time, they split Calvin Johnson out way to the left of your screen, so you're not going to see him. But that takes the defenders out of the way. Tashard Choice just goes, nice moves now, but it takes 2 of your defenders, so you're actually playing 9 on 11, or 11 on 9, and you're able to work through, and he's able to find that because they're trying to really take away Calvin Johnson with the high-low effect.
You know, his mom, Rosa, cheering him on after that transfer from Oklahoma. End around play. They give it to Calvin Johnson. Tries to break tackles. Drags a couple down toward the 25-yard line. He's got the 26, shy of a first down. What can you do to get the ball to Calvin Johnson? 9-yard pickup, you can't throw to him? Give him the ball on an end around, right?
Good call by Patrick Nix after you run the ball effectively, and then also Reggie Ball with a nice block out front. This is how you get him the football. You find ways to put it in your playmaker's hands.
Willie Young made the stop. That's not easy. On a great Calvin Johnson. Just a junior, Tyrone, Georgia. World-class speed, incredible hands, top NFL prospect. Joyce bowls through tacklers on the right side. He needs the NC State 24 for a first down. He's shy of that, it appears. It'll be 3rd and short. Tank Tyler on the stop.
And they've really attacked that left side of their right side. They've really gone over against the left defensive front of North Carolina State. They found that they can have not only Tashard Choice, but they run the reverse that way. They're really trying to attack that side, and they made a nice adjustment in this drive doing that.
Big play. 3rd down numbers. There you see him for Georgia Tech. And Reggie Ball wants a timeout.
Georgia Tech.
Number 1, number 2 in the nation. Hang on. Pretty tight games in that conference this week for Jim Tressel and for Lloyd Carr, but they are through and undefeated at 10-0, heading into the big showdown on the 18th in Columbus.
You know, you're going to do some driving over the next day or two, and you know how you're driving along and you just find out you end up somewhere. That's what Michigan and Ohio State did today. They were just kind of on cruise control, and you have a chance to get beat. If you come out and you're not prepared to play with the intensity level that you need, kind of like Georgia Tech, they kind of got on cruise control. They better find a way to put the pedal to the metal if they want to win this game again.
Leaders of the Coastal Division by a game over Virginia Tech. Hokies taking on Miami tonight. 3rd down conversion try. And again, it's Tashard Choice, another first down for Georgia Tech. So the drive will continue here. It's critical as they try to get something going in this second half.
Well, and they're attacking an NC State defense that gives up on average 144 yards a game. So that's good for you because it allows your quarterback to now find a comfort level and maybe complete some passes.
No points for Ball in the Tech offense in the second half. Pitch, Tashard Choice. Pile driver through traffic down to the 19-yard line. Choice has been effective tonight. Give him 4 more yards as the numbers pile up.
Well, Dave, the other thing that it does, too, is your defense now, they're standing over there with their hands on their hip. They're a little tired, and they've just really done a good job now of saying, let's attack them. Those big guys up front, you can see Mario Presley and Tank Tyler. It's tiring to have those guys pushing you back instead of you going forward.
Clock melts down here, under 10 minutes left, 4th quarter. Quick screen pass, Calvin Johnson. Pulls over 1 tackler, drags another inside the 10-yard line down to the 8. Jimmy Sutton, and the unenviable task of trying to bring down Calvin Johnson. And Garland Heath helped, but it wasn't easy, was it?
He put the shoulder down, and Jimmy Sutton, it looks like he's tackling more like a tight end with sprinter speed than a wideout. And usually Calvin Johnson will put that stiff arm out there. He put the shoulders down.
10-yard pickup, another first down, so it's 1st and goal here for the Yellow Jackets. Very quietly, Calvin Johnson getting back of the game here, the end around on this very long drive. Chewing up more than 5.5 minutes now. Bootleg, ball trouble, throws toward the end zone, and it's incomplete. Fans want an intentional grounding call. I've had one of those already in this game. And Reggie Ball talking to the referee there to make sure it didn't happen again. Pat Lowry providing pressure.
He had a receiver in the area, and I think that's what he was complaining about last time. Hey, it's the same thing I had before, and the officials telling him no. That time I can see 21 in the general vicinity. He's got to be careful on those pressure plays of not going back. He needs to move to the side and then go back.
Calvin Johnson has 2 touchdown catches. James has the other. 2nd and goal. Ball, shotgun, fires, incomplete, looks for Calvin Johnson. At the goal line, Davis on coverage for NC State, who's been assigned. Not exactly an easy task most of the night, trying to go one-on-one with Johnson.
That's one of the few times where they had him truly in a man-to-man coverage look. You don't see it a whole lot. They try to have roll coverage. They try to put people on the top to kind of protect the corner, but when you get down here, the field, you have to play him up pretty tough. And I would imagine now there's a chance here for him to go up and just get the ball.
It was so difficult to match up with Calvin Johnson on these fade routes to the end zone. Ball. Fade route, but no one there. He's looking for James Johnson. Well overthrown, incomplete. He rushed up to the line of scrimmage. Got to wonder if that was a design play. And it sets up a field goal try here for Georgia Tech.
NC State does a very good job of holding here, because that drive took a long time. Took a lot of time off the clock, but also it looked like they were going in for 6, Georgia Tech, and NC State held at the very end.
26-yard field goal attempt. Travis Bell, the junior from Roswell, Georgia. They'll try to put Tech up, which he does.
It's good.
Big field goal for Bell. Chan Gailey's team regains the lead. It's a thriller from Raleigh, though, on homecoming. 2006 at NC State. ESPNU College Football Primetime is presented by Citi. Earn rewards points in more ways than ever with Citi. Well, if you're Chan Gailey and Georgia Tech, you might want to be worried about this stat. NC State has won its last 4 games, including 2 this year, against ranked teams. Yellow Jackets ranked number 20 in the nation. A little bit of trouble here, feeling some heat for the Wolfpack tonight.
They really are, and I think you look at how this game matches up and you say, at night, they're a ranked team. These guys play well under the lights.
They try to kick it away from Darrell Blackman, which is a good idea considering he just brought one back for a touchdown the last time he touched it. Jamel Eugene instead returned 17 yards. And NC State set to take it over again. So this has been the season for the Wolfpack, really up and down. The win over App State, team that won the 1AA title last year to begin the year, then bad losses at home to Akron. Southern Miss, they got blasted. That's when the coaching staff, Chuck Amano, made the quarterback change from Marcus Stone to Daniel Evans. Then he comes back. They beat BC, Florida State, ranked teams, then 3 straight losses. So which NC State team will we see is the question.
Well, and you have to put Wake Forest there. They were moving up the chart to be in the rankings. And I think the real key for them is just finding the mindset every week of playing like they're playing BC, Florida State, or Georgia Tech.
Up and down here for them, no question about that. End around, Eugene just gets nailed. Jamal Lewis crushes Jamel Eugene on a big hit that went absolutely nowhere. 1-yard loss.
You know, this is the most versatile player in the secondary, Jamal Lewis. He can play any position, and he shows you there. He's not afraid to come in and stick his nose in there and make a hit. Alley players, you know, a lot of defensive coordinators talk about guys filling the alley. He doesn't mind coming up.
Getting after it, huh? He laid the wood there to Eugene. Big hit. 2nd and 11 now for Evans at NC State. Hill, the man in motion, reverses ground. Screen pass set up. Here's John Dunlap, makes the catch at the 30. Being tracked down, thrown out of bounds on the far side. He's nailed there by Jaheed Ward-Daniels.
The other point, too, is that with a young quarterback, think about the West Coast offense and having a guy that was probably very highly touted. And so they wanted him in the system, but not quite understanding this offense the way Mark Trestman wants to. So they're taking a lot of things out of it and going more multiple formations with less plays to help him get a better feel for how to manage the game.
Picks up 6 on that pass play to Dunlap. 3rd and 5 here. Big conversion under 8 minutes left, 4th quarter. NC State down by a point. And a topsy-turvy second half. Shotgun for Evans. Flush goes right, then trouble, and down he goes. Joe Anawai tracks him down and puts him down. The Samoan is his nickname. By John Tanuna, the defensive coordinator at Georgia Tech, who has a nickname for everyone. As we told you at the top of the broadcast, Joe's family into the WWE. His brother's still a pro wrestler in Japan.
Well, I tell you what, the thing is he always shows up on film. He flies around, he makes plays, and that's what this Georgia Tech team loves to have their defense there because they know they'll make big stops.
Delaney punts, Evans receives. Calls for the fair catch in traffic. That's a nice play. At the Tech 35, 30-yard punt by John Delaney. Timeout of the field when we return. Reggie Ball, the offense for Georgia Tech, trying to salt this one away. It's a tight one in Raleigh tonight. Wow, Michael, incredible. Top of the Atlantic Division. And the ACC, Jim Grow. The Demon Deacons of Wake Forest, 8-1. They're 4-1 in conference play. They have been 7-1 for the first time since '79. Third time ever they've had that good a start. As Choice carries a couple yards. 44-79, and now 2006. Wake Forest has been this good. There are the updated standings for you. How about Wake Forest and NC State needing to win 3 to be bowl eligible this year?
Well, and that's why you see a guy like Jim Grove being mentioned for a lot of these jobs. His name pops up. I mean, I know down the road in North Carolina they're talking about Butch Davis, but his name has been mentioned there because of him being able to turn around programs. You know, player, coach of the year, national coach of the year type of mention for him as well.
2nd and 7, Reggie Ball, and the offense. Choice makes 2 tacklers miss. Tashard diving toward the marker. He needs the 45. He's about a half-yard shy of that. Boy, Choice has been a workhorse in this game. Garland Heath brought him down, and they continue to chew the clock here.
The word I think of with Tashard Choice is decisiveness, and I mean that when he's running downhill. He doesn't waste time. He makes a move, and then he's gone. 29 carries for 156 yards. Very decisive.
Junior from Riverdale, Georgia. He's been something. Coach has told us a very tough runner. He can take a pop and just stay on his feet. May get it again here on 3rd and 1. Yep. Right side, bulls ahead. Looks like he's got the first down. Good spot from the line judge, giving him the 46, and that should be plenty.
Well, and it makes sense to do this now when you have the lead, even though it's 1 point. Roll the clock, run the ball, cut the game down. You're exactly right. I think the real key with him also is that he seems to get better as the game goes along, and NC State is thin at linebacker. They have a lot of guys that are playing, like LaRue Rumpf, who was a safety last year, now linebacker, and Reggie Davis, who moved over in spring, only had 3 days of spring practice at linebacker.
He was a running back, yeah. He said, well, coach is going to change me. I'll give it a shot. As Choice carries first down, busts through a couple tacklers into NC State territory, down to the 49-yard line. Give him 5. Garland Heath in on yet another stop from his roverback or safety spot. I'm not sure we're going to see Reggie Ball throw much more in this game if they can control the clock like this on the ground.
If they can do this, you're exactly right. It makes sense to keep going with him. He's going to take a little breather right here and come back. And Curtis Modkins, the first gentleman that you saw talking to him, his position coach, telling him, hey, we're going to keep coming to you.
Oh, he's hit. A lot of carries tonight. Rashawn Grant into the game in the backfield. He'll take a pitch here and get his first carry of the night. Here's Rashawn Grant. Cutback move as he's inside the 45-yard line down to the 44. Martrell Brown put him down after a 5-yard gain. Remaining schedule after this one. Well, North Carolina lost again. Duke lost again for Skip Holtz. Now that program has struggled, of course. Georgia, to finish the year, lost their game today in a huge upset. So 2 of the 3 don't have a win over a 1A team.
Yeah. Georgia lost to Kentucky today. You know,
that's a big one for Rich Brooks, huh? Wow.
Oh,
huge win in Lexington. They've had such struggles over the last several years. Grant stays into the game. Rashawn gets the carry off right tackle, spins forward. As he got himself close to the 40, gave him 3 yards just outside the 40-yard line. He needs a 34, tackled by Tank Tyler. Here's what's left for NC State. Clemson, UNC, and East Carolina in a non-conference game to finish out the year for Chuck Amato. As he told us yesterday, every game is a playoff game for us. I mean, this is a must-win. We can't think about going to the last week against ECU looking for potentially a 6th win in a bowl bid. Keeping them all on the ground so far on this drive. Fade pattern. Johnson brings it in. Calvin Johnson makes a great catch on the sideline. Down to the 8-yard line of NC State. 33-yard gain, and the dangerous weapon cashes in.
Well, I just want you to watch how he's running stride for stride and then pulls away from the defender. And this is what makes him so good and so effective. He's able to run with the guy and then all of a sudden just pull away from him. And I think that's the real key with, you know, J.C. Neal there trying to cover him and stay with him, but he can't. Calvin Johnson just runs by him.
Look at all the yardage, 168 yards. Here's Choice. Changes direction, then gets belted. Lowry, one of the first to him, along with Demario Presley on the tackle for the Wolfpack. But a huge play for Calvin Johnson. Again, the numbers. He's got 2 touchdowns, both came in the first half.
Well, and I'll tell you this, when they need a big play, they don't have a problem looking for him. You know, NC State has been in positions where they play the man up, and when that happens, you can see, and the time is ticking away. And now, with the game the way it is, it moves a lot faster.
Long drive. And Ball's engineered it well here, 2nd and goal. Reggie, fade pattern, James Johnson, touchdown! Left alone on the fade, a 2nd touchdown of the game, 7 yards, and Georgia Tech inches closer to a big win on the road here tonight in Raleigh.
The biggest difference with this offense is that you have a guy like Calvin Johnson and Tashard Choice, but you cannot fall asleep on James Johnson. A.J. Davis is one of those guys that, you know, very good player and can be a great player, but sometimes he gets lulled to sleep, and that was one of those plays where it happened.
Travis Bell has the PAT, and that appears to be a knockout punch, still within 8, but with the struggles they've had offensively, will it be enough? James Johnson, Calvin Johnson, Johnson, 4 touchdowns. 31-23 game here in the 4th quarter in Raleigh, North Carolina. College football primetime on ESPNU, presented by Citi. Our game summary. Well, Calvin Johnson, a couple touchdowns. James Johnson has 2. Begin the 2nd half. Darrell Blackman had that long kickoff return, Charles Arbuckle, for a touchdown. NC State appeared to be in business.
It did. It looked like they were in position to take the game back over and really come back. Now, you have another opportunity with Darrell Blackman back there. You better kick it away from him the way he returns the football.
Mohamed Yahiaoui will try to do just that. Little squib kick, anything to keep it away from him. And on one knee is the return man there.
I don't know if you give him that many yards.
Maybe not. Return there from Matt Kushner, a reserve tight end. Well, against Wake Forest, October 15th, 14th. Late comeback try, falling short for Daniel Evans. And then last week at Virginia, late interception as well, and a pass intended for John Dunlap. And UVA and Al Groh and Charlottesville survived 14-7. They've had so many close losses here. As Coach Amato told us yesterday, we could be sitting pretty on top of the division right now. Evans trouble with a snap. Little shovel pass. Makes a nice play. Lamar Barrett able to grab that, and a late penalty flag flies as well. After the play, K. Michael Hall was in the vicinity of the referee who threw the laundry. We'll see the call here.
The defender was Jamal Lewis.
He got past the line of scrimmage, yeah. And that's what, when you saw that play, I was wondering, did he get quite there when he flipped the ball? Legal forward pass. He was just in that situation where he got past the line of scrimmage. And I think he panicked because he was going to run the football and then decided at the last minute. Let's take a look at it.
Illegal forward pass by the quarterback. 5 yards, loss of down.
And a loss of down, Charles. That hurts just as much. Take a look here. He's awfully close.
And this is, he has to get. Look, I don't think so. I mean, because he had to get past the 36.
Play is under review here, Charles. That may be overturned by our video official here. Let's take another look. I don't think he went across the line of scrimmage.
I don't think so either. When I first saw it, he did not, because he had to get to the 36 in order for it to be in that situation. You'll see here, he gets to about the 35-yard line and gets rid of the football.
He didn't get that far.
Yeah,
he's not even close.
No, that's why I thought when you said that K. Michael Hall came up to him, and I thought he hit him late or something.
There is indisputable video evidence that the quarterback threw the ball from behind the line of scrimmage. The pass is ruled complete. It'll be 2nd down at the 43.
Well, there you have it. So the clock stays where it is at 2:02, but the gain and no loss of down. What a huge turnaround. And that's why we have video replay in college football. That exact reason.
But did you see Chan Gailey saying, start the clock?
Don't forget now. And they'll do just that. It's going to roll here 2 minutes and under, 4th quarter. So it's a 7-yard gain to Lamar Barrett. after all that. Firing the far side, ball drop incomplete. It's Stone, the quarterback, coming into the game trying to receive here. The former starter. Let's go to Mike Hall, the Studio Sports Center in-game update.
Third down, 3rd and 3.
All right, so things tightening a bit there in Columbia, South Carolina. 3rd and 3 here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Evans firing over the middle, pass incomplete, looks for Hill. Fans want to call, they won't get it. Philip Wheeler on coverage. It was draped all over the tight end Anthony Hill.
I know we beat this to death, but you have Stone missing, and then you come back now. Anthony Hill missing or not being able to put that ball away and catch it. Now you come to 4th down. They just don't find ways to help themselves.
This is it. NC State, 4th down conversion numbers. Not bad, 4-7. 3rd of 12 teams in the conference.
That was a good play by Philip Wheeler also. Let's give him credit, but you got to find a way to make a play at this time in the game.
Here's Evans. Fires far side, has a man, pass complete. Breaking a tackle. Darrell Blackman stood up at the 30-yard line, and the hope continues here for NC State. His 4th catch, and some extra rough stuff after the 27-yard gain on 4th down.
Well, we talk about getting the ball to Calvin Johnson, but why don't you get it to Darrell Blackman? It looks like he went out of bounds.
Oh, it's close, partner.
Yeah,
Close.
I mean, it was one of those situations, but once again, even if they were to look at that and say that he was running the football and being aggressive, it's right here. It looks like his foot goes out of bounds.
He would have had the first down. We may have a review here. It's exactly what's going to happen. And the officials will take a look. Yep. That left foot on the sideline for Darrell Blackman looked like it was on the paint, but he did have the first down. That's the most important thing. Imagine if he hadn't, and it got to the point where they lose the play and the first down. Let's take a look.
Catches the ball.
Right there.
Yeah.
Looks like it from that angle. But he had the first down already.
The good thing about him is his aggressiveness in getting the ball down the field. He steps out there again. There's 2 times you can count. And I mean, he's just he wants to make a play.
Avery Roberson and DJ Jones made the stop. Kenny Scott missed tackle, trying to go too high on that hit, and he went out of bounds when Scott made the contact there.
There's 2 areas where they can have him out of bounds. That's one.
That's at midfield.
Yeah, right at midfield. And then he'll break off good tackles, and then he'll go out right here about the 41.
Yeah,
so he's clearly out there. Yeah.
Well, no question about the second one.
Or the 39, I think.
Yeah. So Giacomo should have a first down here. It depends on where they have Blackman stepping out of bounds. NC State in need of a win here. 3 of the last 4 to be bowl eligible. 1AA college football coming your way next here on ESPNU. Howard, South Carolina State. Stay tuned for that one.
And think about these fans. Remember an Akron game? They had a lot of controversy with the officials there in that game when the game ended. And you know, a lot of you can see these fans really getting into it. There's no love lost, I should say, between the fans and any officials working the game.
After review, the player stepped out of bounds at the 49.5. The ball will be placed there. It'll be first down and 10. Please put 1:43 on the clock. 1:43.
Wow. So it's always interesting how they estimate how much time would have been on the clock there, because Blackman stayed in bounds, went well downfield. The clock went down at 1:34, so it's at 1:43. And as you heard, right about midfield where we first had him out of bounds in the replay, it was the correct call. Good break for Chan Gailey and Georgia Tech here.
Key for NC State, got the first down. That is really the key.
Wolfpack has all 3 timeouts. In the waning moments, trying to tie it up with a touchdown and a conversion. Swing pass, Brown, it's incomplete. Andre Brown couldn't come up with it on first down. DJ Jones, the nearest in coverage for Georgia Tech.
talk about body language. You know, instead of just hustling back, let's go. I mean, it almost like, oh, the air is let out of him. And he's looking down the field before the ball gets to him. He's thinking, I'm going to run with it. You see his head turning, and that just takes him away just that split second.
5 of 8 games so far. Brown has led this team in rushing, but has had some fumble issues. Dropped that pass, 2nd and 10. Under a minute 40 to go. Evans escapes the rush. Shovel pass. Brown's got this one, nearly bobbled it. Then he's tracked out of bounds on the far side at the 37-yard line. His 2nd catch of the game. Big one for Brown. 12 yards, another first down for the Wolfpack.
Dave, they're lucky here because there was a blitz coming, and Andre Brown doesn't take on the linebacker at all, Gary Guyton. He runs right by him, and then he flips the ball to him, which makes it a good situation. But you see here, 58 White coming in, and Andre Brown doesn't even tap him at all, but he's there for the catch. He's bobbling a little bit, but he pulls it away.
Wow. So Gary Guyton ran by him on the blitz try and tried to put it away for Georgia Tech. 1st and 10, Evans. Shotgun, fade route. Darrell Blackman closest to it. It falls incomplete. Kenny Scott on coverage for the Yellow Jackets.
The one thing with Daniel Evans is moving back. He's throwing on that back foot sometimes, and that gets him in trouble. We saw that earlier in the game. Can't do it here, especially with Kenny Scott sniffing that out. He could have ran and caught that ball.
Numbers tonight on Daniel Evans. Just a sophomore from right here in Raleigh. He's one of quadruplets. He's got a twin brother who is on this team as a walk-on, and 2 sisters. Quite a family life for Evans. Quite a moment here. Flag down, pass over the middle, brought in. Lamar Barrett makes a move, desperately trying to get to the sideline, which he does. There is a penalty flag down at the 23-yard line. Bumped out of bounds there was Barrett, and this may come back. It will.
Just continues to compound. You make good plays, you have positive plays.
Illegal motion, number 9 in the offense. 5 yards from the line of scrimmage. Repeat 2nd down.
And who was it? Marcus Stone, a former starting quarterback who's become a receiver. Look up, moves early. He was a starter who was bumped by Evans early in the year after a bad loss to Southern Miss. Couldn't get in the field for several games, wanted to be a receiver in special teams. He's made big catches tonight, but a huge penalty there for a guy who has played quarterback his entire career until just now. Pass far side, Hill brings it in, and he's bumped out of bounds on the far side at the 30. 6th catch of the night for Anthony Hill. He's had a big game for NC State.
And Stone has had 2 negative plays this drive, that drop and then also that false start.
12-yard pass completion.
3 timeouts for Daniel Evans, the quarterback at NC State, just a sophomore. It's game 6 of the Evans era here. And Mark Trestman, the offensive coordinator.
A lot of time. I mean, they have a lot of time. They have all their timeouts left. They're in good position here.
All the timeouts, 4 down territory. 3rd and 3. Little screen pass broken up. Looking for Darrell Blackman, that was nearly intercepted. Nice play defensively by Jahi Ward-Daniels. And it's 4th down.
Well, not a lot of pressure there. But you can see Jahi Ward-Daniels coming, breaking on the ball. Darrell Blackman puts one hand on it. If he leaves it up there a little bit longer, it looks like that's a pick the other way for 6.
Jahi Ward-Daniels, a sophomore, Hoover, Alabama. That great Hoover high school program won a state championship there. They've already converted once on this drive on a 4th down. Can they do it again? Georgia Tech takes a timeout. 4th and 3. A ball game, perhaps the season on the line here for NC State. You're thinking about a bowl game. Evans over the middle, pass incomplete for Hill. Anthony looked like he had it with plenty of yardage. Georgia Tech will take over on downs.
Kind of how the season has gone. Have a chance, and Anthony Hill right there. Great job by Evans of looking off. And I think he gets blinded a little bit by the umpire, but you still got to come up with that. Evans going the opposite way and then finds his receiver, and Hill just drops it. Now watch, you're going to see the umpire come into your screen, but that's still, he should catch that. That's right in the hands. No excuses.
You know that, partner, as an old tight end. That is a catchable ball, and another gut-wrenching loss forthcoming here for NC State. Time and time again, they've had tight games, and they have not been able to come through in what now will be a 4-game losing streak. Assuming Georgia Tech hangs on to it, a little surprised they're actually going to run choice here off right tackle. As Tashard racks up even more yards. He's had a huge game tonight for Chan Gaelic. And NC State will use a timeout here with 30 seconds remaining.
Well, NC State had a chance. They gave themselves a chance, but they did not capitalize on that opportunity.
Funny story about Johnny Evans, who was recruited by some local Park and Recs folks to be a Pee-wee coach. They had an overflow Little League football roster, and Daniel was one of the players, guys that couldn't make the other teams. So eventually said, hey, Daniel gravitated toward the quarterback spot naturally, just a good leader. Vocal in the huddle. His choice loses a yard there. Look out, Reggie Ball's hopping off the field on the far side, injured it looks like. Boy, Georgia Tech may have their quarterback hurt here with just 25 seconds left. Howard, South Carolina State coming up. He sprinted off the field, hurt.
He rushed off of there.
That was bizarre, and there he is being attended to. That could be a cramp. That's certainly what it looked like. When you get one of those cramps, and it just feels like you've been shot. It hurts so much. You know that.
Yeah. I mean, but the way he limped off. It was a major pain.
Taylor Bennett as a backup is going to come on here late. You can see he's hurt already because he's cramping already there. Isn't that something?
It's not speculate. You hope that's all it is.
No, he's standing. He has all the characteristics of a cramp.
Yeah.
Wild finish. Chan Gailey just wants to get out of here. He does not want to start senior quarterback and captain to get hurt this late in what was just a knee-down situation.
Yeah.
To try to put it away. They've twice handed the choice, which is a little mysterious. And Tashard sir has a huge game tonight. So there's Taylor Bennett, the backup, who will come in as a sophomore from St. Louis. We'll see if he goes to a knee. And you will eventually. A little shuffle step there to try to kill some more time. And NC State does call timeout. This is 4th down here. Georgia Tech setting up for the punt. Durant Brooks sinks the right foot into it, and no one back to receive for NC State, hoping for a miraculous last-second block. And it's all the way down to the 7-yard line of NC State. 60-yard punt for Brooks. Trying to put this one away against Chuck Amato and NC State.
And it looked like they were in block mode, but no one out really made any concerted attempt. Nobody back.
Seven seconds left, and no timeouts for NC State.
Lost about 5 seconds or so on that kick because there was no one back.
Well, this is it. Evans from the end zone, just going to let it fly. Hope for a miracle. His pass is incomplete. Darrell Blackman on the final play of the game. That does it from Raleigh.